If you would have gone back in time and told somebody in 2018 that Tom Brady would leave the Patriots to go win a Super Bowl for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they would have looked at you like you had two heads. Well, I guess a lot of us do, actually. But regardless, the Buccaneers went all in with Tom Brady and Mike Evans, Levante David, and emerging Devin White. And they won the Super Bowl kind of out of nowhere. It really was so clear and obvious that Tom Brady elevated that team. And it kind of put to bed the debate of, man, is Tom Brady anything without Bill Belichick? Already seems crazy because how successful and talented and good Tom Brady was. But it was an argument being used at the time. And we found out, no, they're just both individually unbelievable. And maybe, you know, Bill Belichick benefited from Tom Brady just as much as Tom Brady did Bill Belichick. You know, two all-time greats teaming up. Obviously, a dynasty was going to form. You have the amazing piece of the offense in Tom Brady, and then the defensive mastermind in Bill Belichick. Anyway, it worked out perfectly, but that's not what we're worried about today. So this is the starter team here in 2023. Obviously, very few of these players are even going to make it 10 years, let alone 20. I don't think anyone's going to be able to make it 20. That would be pretty improbable. Tristan Wirfs is probably going to be on the team for a very long time, though. Got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, currently rocking with Baker Mayfield as our starting quarterback. Probably going to have to look to upgrade on that. If Baker makes a miraculous comeback, that sure would be something. Defensively, got some talent. I'd like to try and develop Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, Devin White, Kalijah Kancey, of course, the first-round pick of this team this year. Greg Gaines is on the Bucs now. Vita Vea is a beast. The corners are pretty talented and also fairly young. And I'm a particularly big fan of Zion McCollum. I loved him as a prospect coming out of Sam Houston State, and I think he's going to end up being a really, really solid player. Now, it's an uphill battle for him, taking a real shot on this as he was a fifth-round pick in 2022. Very few of those guys end up being, you know, longtime NFL players, let alone starters. But we'll see what happens. I'd like to develop him. But a lot of this team's going to change, obviously. Stars like Levante David are going to be, you know, considered as trade pieces here early. Obviously, in real life, we'd be surprised to see Levante David get moved. But for my purposes in this rebuild, if I'm trying to replace talent, the easiest way to do that is to get draft picks by trading my current talent and kind of, you know, building up over time. Am I going to do that to start? Probably not. I'll consider it at the trade deadline more likely. And I guess let's go ahead. 20-year rebuild going to 2043. We'll see if we can build a dynasty. I'll probably do a couple of drills here with the players that are actually going to matter. Probably is going to be Devin White and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, trying to develop him. Another former first-round pick by this team. And haven't seen a whole lot yet. But, you know, maybe in this rebuild he'll catch on. I was a really big fan of Rachaad White coming out of Arizona State. I just question whether we're actually going to be able to develop him in this one. I'll do rushing attack. It's one of those quick training camp drills. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to do this for 20 years. This video is going to take 40 hours to record. And that's not an exaggeration. Usually, like talking about last year and, you know, years previous doing a 20-year rebuild, those take me 10 to 15 hours to record. And this year, just regular, you know, 4-year rebuilds are taking me like 4+ hours sometimes. So it might actually take me 40 hours if I were going to record a 20-year rebuild playing every training camp. Great tackling from Devin White. Jesus. Let's get on a roll here. If we can make consecutive tackles for loss for the final 13 seconds, Devin White, I believe, is going to get gold. It's going to cut it a little bit close, and we really cannot afford to make any mistakes like that one. Okay. Big bounce back on attempt number 2. This could actually be like a 100K attempt if I don't screw up, and I'm so prone to screw-ups, it's ridiculous. You don't get a bonus for 100K or something as we go way over. Fumbles are so big, especially with this multiplier. If we get another fumble, we're going to get like 150K. But that is a big if. We might get 150K anyway. We probably have 2 more attempts unless it's a pitch. In which case, yeah, that's going to be it. But 149.6 might be the highest I've ever done. I also think Trey Palmer could end up being a pretty good pro. Just not really sure there's a reason to use him in wide receiver battle. I just don't think we're going to be able to develop him here. And in a 20-year rebuild, I hate to say it, but it's not so much about the players you currently have on the roster. You know, like, obviously you want to develop some of those guys, but it's really mostly about who you can draft and sign and, you know, make really good use of your funds. So money plays a huge factor when you're going for that long. So you have to be really careful with the contracts we hand out. Obviously, it doesn't mean we can't make any big signings, but that money, as those contracts get more expensive, that money can get run through very quickly, especially when you're not paying a rookie QB. If you have a solid quarterback, they're not going to be cheap. So that's going to be a big challenge we have to work around over the course of this thing. And we'll see, because Baker's not going to be it, which is fine. I think that's to be expected. I think you guys probably don't want Baker to be it. If Baker was it, we'd be like, what gives? Why is he your quarterback for half this video? But no, it's highly unlikely that that will end up being the case. And even, you know, guys like Chris Godwin are going to be here for what, maybe 5 years, 6 years at the most. Oh, and Chris Godwin's got Superstar X Factor, so I'll take that. On a quick glance, appears to be a pretty talented quarterback class with a bunch of these first guys in the class being quarterbacks, including two very different type of QBs. Now, one is 232 pounds. The other one's 233 pounds. Yet there is a massive height difference. 5'11 versus 6'6. Very interesting. And then Terrell Easley is the heaviest of all of them by 1 pound on the most, 234 pounds at 6'3", right in the middle. Very interesting. I wonder if QBs in the game are supposed to be 230-ish pounds. Seems like it. Definitely want to get our scout set up so that somebody's looking at QB. Seems like this class is going to be a very good QB class, which is a good time to get it. Wide receiver and corner. Some fun positions here in year one. And I wonder if there's something that has QB and either receiver or corner. More likely receiver, but I do kind of doubt it. I think what probably ends up happening is we hire somebody that does CB and wide receiver, and then somebody that does, you know, quarterback and just something else. So there is wide receiver and QB for 1-star and 2-star. Is there going to be a 3-star? There's Greg Jennings. I'm going to set focus scouting to wide receiver. I don't think we need to do anything with the QBs. I'll stop at week 11, make them my focus players. We are only 2-4 at the midseason mark, which to me means it's probably time to sell. A little baseball. We have several players with just 1 year remaining on their deals. I think Mike Evans is someone I'd want to re-sign, but Levante David, he's 33 years old, going to be 34. He's just going to regress super hard this season, and it's time to move him. We need to clear up some cap space as well, so it's just probably the right move. Shaq Barrett is looking like a bad contract now as well. We're not going to be able to keep most of these players if we don't make a move now. Okay, first trade going to be Levante David and Shaq Barrett. Levante David, lifetime Buck, but he would want this for us. He would want to secure our future. We're getting 2 first-round picks from the Lions. The reason that those were easier to trade for is because number 26 overall, which is where the Lions are projected this year's draft, not super valuable. So I'm happy to do it. They get 2 very talented players for a playoff run where we kind of hit the reset button a little bit. Ooh, interesting. There's a new quarterback at number 1. It's Jonathan George, the 6'6" QB we're talking about. Now, Sheldon Meekins has A for everything except for deep throw accuracy. Are you really fast? No. You're 5'11 and slow? Interesting. But this receiver from Mizzou, particularly interesting to me. B for everything. Playmaker archetype. Elite change of direction skills. And yeah, as expected, very good route running. He's going to be a player we probably should draft if we want to be successful in this one. But that leaves us with, okay, what do we do at the quarterback position? Well, it's a good question. Isaac Sawyer looks to be good value down the board from Texas. Hook him, of course. He's got all the same type of key ratings there. I just expect he's going to be a little bit worse of a route runner, and that is certainly the case. He is actually a bad route runner unless the route is deep down the field. Now, this is an interesting player here as a potential undrafted player. Physical archetype might be worth taking a look at. Round 3 to 4 talent, just go up and get it type receiver. Literally just a red zone threat, and that's it. I doubt I'll draft him, but it's interesting. But I need to know true talent on quarterback. So these 3 QBs will be my focus players. I don't really want to draft Shelton Meekins just because he's such a non-athlete. But we'll take a look. If he's a top 5 talent, it's obviously going to be in heavy consideration. Now, the good news about some of these players that have expiring contracts, they want to be here. Devin White, Mike Evans, Antoine Winfield Jr., and I'd like to have them back. So kind of feels like it makes sense. And let's try to get somewhat favorable team deals. Mike Evans will end up regressing, but he should still be good for, I would say, 4 seasons. This is a fair contract to me. That's what we're going to offer Mike Evans. He accepts. Antoine Winfield Jr., I want something a little bit more long-term. I want him into his 30s. So let's go ahead, take the money down slightly, extend the years. Antoine Winfield Jr. is back. And then Devin White, I think a 5-year deal makes sense for me too. Like, we can't take the money down too much. We can save a couple bucks here or there. Ryan Neal, maybe not going to be possible. We have money right now. I guess we could. Yeah, but I don't know. Do I really want to overpay Ryan Neal to keep him around? I'd offer this. If he accepts, that's fine. He's not going to, and he can look for a job somewhere else. Greg Gaines back for 2 years. Probably will be moving to defensive tackle. Or not. He doesn't want to be here. And we would not make the playoffs, although we didn't finish last. The Falcons, who are usually so good in simulation, only go 5-12. We just go a game better than that. 31st best offense, and part of that is because our quarterback is not the best. He wasn't terrible, by all means, but he wasn't great. We had no running game. Rachaad White only averaged 3 yards per carry. That's not good. And then Mike Evans had plenty of touchdowns, but we didn't really have anything super impressive from our receivers outside of that 12 touchdown number for Mike Evans. Defensively, probably a ton of tackles. We were on the field a lot. Although Joe Tryon with 11 sacks here. That could be good enough to work, for us long term. I'm not saying a development trade upgrade. It's possible, I guess. But that might push him up near an 80 overall. There's a chance of that, but yeah, not a great first season. But it's not about the first season in a 20-year rebuild. You guys are going down, making sure you're subscribed because of the 19 years to follow. And yeah, go down, make sure you're subscribed. That's a good reminder, isn't it? Joe Tryon with 2 skill points here. And I do see an abilities tab. He does go up to superstar development. Won linebacker of the year. Okay. Well, that changes things for the future of Joe Tryon Shoyinka in Tampa Bay, which is not the name of the actual place in Tampa, but you say Tampa Bay because of the team, I guess. His ratings look pretty good, to be fair. And if we stay in a 3-4, I think we can get, some pretty good success from him. 60 zone coverage is not bad as a rush player. If you have to drop back occasionally, that's going to be fine. And the Jags beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, the Doug Peterson Bowl. Trevor Lawrence, Super Bowl MVP. What a story for Doug Peterson. Wins Super Bowl with the Eagles, their first Super Bowl ever. Gets fired, probably a little too early, to be honest. Then goes to the Jags and beats his former team in the Super Bowl. Oh man, Ryan Neal got up to superstar dev. Obviously going to pick up the 5th-year option on Joe Tryon. What are his motivations that do not want to put him in Tampa? Don't be close to home. Close to home, Washington. Oh no. We got to extend him like now. Or what about 3 years for Ryan Neal? And we'll amp up the money a little bit. Ryan Neal is back. Superstar Dev just kind of changes things. He's going to be able to hold that overall for a little while longer now. And I think it's not going to prevent me from drafting somebody over him. But based on the draft class that I saw, and I haven't really, taken a deep dive yet, but based on the year one draft class that I saw, probably not going to be drafting a safety. Have my eye on both quarterback and that receiver. I'd like to get in position for that receiver. Could be difficult, but if he keeps sliding down the board a couple spots, shouldn't be that difficult. Now, the quarterbacks, 95% on both of these guys is unfortunate, although Terrell Easley, we know, is a round one talent. So wouldn't be too mad about him down the board. Elite throw power, elite strength, elite change of direction. Accuracy all seems very good. Terrell Easley could be the guy. Now, he's the third ranked quarterback here, but he might go a little bit further down the board, which I would say would let us get in position for that receiver and not have to trade all the way up twice. Quarterback with 4.55 speed. It says it's elite, but there's a big jump to like 4.3 like we see some QBs run in the game. This could be worth a flyer in the third round. Even if we take a quarterback high, it could be like RG3, Kirk Cousins type stuff. That quarterback is really interesting to me. This QB not quite as fast, but has maybe a better arm. Might be worth taking a quarterback early day 3, maybe late day 2. Ooh, elite speed at corner and elite acceleration. A-man coverage. Not bad at the end of the first round. There are definitely some players I'm super interested in here. Just going to be tough to decide. We have some big corners, 6'3", 6'4", and some of them can move pretty well, like DeAndre Tolliver. But this year, I don't think it was the same as it was last year. I don't think 6'3" or 6'4" is like a guaranteed good dev trait. And if we have a corner that can only do man coverage with elite speed, what a weird combination. Usually you'd see maybe like in real life, you'd see poor speed from an elite zone cover player, but for an elite man-to-man player that doesn't have great speed, it's not that common, I would say. 4-4-1 at middle linebacker. There's something here, round 3, round 4. And now a running back, round 1 to 2 projection. I usually don't go this long on the class, but I guess it's important year 1. He's got elite jumping, whatever, but great speed, good acceleration, agility, change of direction. But the big thing is a juke move. You really only see that from very highly rated running backs. And we could definitely be in the market for a running back this year. Rachaad White is good, but not enough to stop me from drafting a running back if one is good enough. And I think even after seeing all these elusive backs that could go in the first round, Cox is the only one with even B juke move. We have guys with elite change of direction that don't even have a juke move. And then in free agency, we don't have a ton of money. I think I'm just going to pass on the free agents. Patrick Queen would be a nice replacement for Levante David, I guess. Wants to be in a warm weather state. Well, hard to get warmer than Florida. Not impossible, but difficult. You got, some different types of warm. You got that dry heat, in Las Vegas or Phoenix, the Cardinals or Raiders. But, Texas, of course, has a couple different types of heat. It's such a massive state. I think Patrick Queen, I'm not going to give you guys a weather lesson. I was going to ask what do I look like, a meteorologist? But I don't want to know the answers to that. I think I already know. We're only going after Patrick Queen. Just sign on so I can end this bit. Thank you. Ooh, Jonathan George looks pretty awful. Probably not going to make him a focus player on account of him not being able to throw the ball. That's kind of my biggest critique of him, is that as a quarterback, he cannot throw. Kind of an issue for me, honestly. NFL draft time, we pick at number 7. I forgot to look at the mock draft. I have no idea when these players are going to go. But Shelton Meekins is confirmed, not good. Or not great, we'll say. Maybe it's just a stacked class. Kalen Carroll and Terrell Easley are the 2 players I absolutely need to draft. Everyone else, whatever happens, happens. And Lynn Ingram looks very good. Probably just not going to be in the cards. And I checked out, this defensive end as well. A finesse moves is always intriguing. Pretty good athlete, nothing spectacular. It's the quarterback and it's the receiver, and I have no idea when they're going to go. That's the big concern right now. I don't really want to trade up to 2, but I think I might have to. I have no idea when this QB is going to go. I don't want either of the first 2, but that doesn't mean that the third quarterback, Terrell Easley, won't be the first QB off the board. Bucs are a fit. Rams, Commanders. If he goes at number 2, that would be devastating. Does it look like the Falcons might be interested in Kalen Carroll? If you couldn't see, if my face cam was covering that, the Falcons were 2 of the first 3 team fits. I think I might have to pull a Texans and get number 2 and 3 in the draft. I think it's just going to cost too much to trade up to 2. I'm going to roll the dice, and the tackle is off the board. I'm going to try and make a trade with our division rival Atlanta Falcons, see if I can get number 3, because this really could be where that receiver goes. It's their number 1 need. I do not want that to happen. Okay, we are trading a first-round pick. I believe this is number 7, and I'm going to work on a trade up for that quarterback. A 3rd next year, a 5th next year, and then a 5th and a 4th the year after that. We are moving up to number 3 overall, and this is for the receiver first. Because I think Terrell Easley is going to last on the board a little bit longer. I hope that's true. Honestly, I think the receiver is the priority. He's a top 5 talent. He's going to be very, very good. I know we have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin right now. This is the receiver of the future. He looks like a running back with some of his abilities as well. He's going to be insane. Out of Mizzou, receiver you in a way, right? Okay, we have Jeremy Maclin is Mizzou, right? Dorial Green Beckham was a beast at Mizzou. And, I mean, they have Luther Burden now, who could be quite good. And as we expected, hidden development. 94 acceleration and agility, 95 change of direction, 91 speed, 88 jumping. He is going to be so good. Colts go Tyrone Callahan at number 4. There goes Lynn Ingram to the Bears at 5. These quarterbacks are lasting. Do the Falcons take the first one off the board? They don't. The QBs are lasting. The Titans could draft one, though. They take a right end. The Broncos could reasonably draft a quarterback. They go with a safety. The Packers, I very much doubt would with Jordan Love. They go with the safety. Oh my goodness. These quarterbacks are falling. The Cardinals are unlikely to. They go with a receiver. Seahawks, I don't think would. They go with a right end. At what point do I just stop rolling the dice and move up? I don't think that the Raiders, Giants, Saints, Steelers, Cardinals again, or Chiefs would take a QB. And nobody trades up in the Madden drafts. So we're just going to keep going. It's safeties galore in this draft. The QBs are free-falling. As Sidney McAllister was a player I looked at the end of the first round. I was never going to draft them before the quarterbacks. But these QBs are falling so far. I thought I was going to have to trade up, but I just kept rolling the dice based on the teams picking ahead of us. And here we are at number 19. And, I mean, look at all... Which teams ahead of us would take or behind us would take a quarterback? If the Bears want to trade up slightly, I would be in favor of that. I don't want to move back to 25, granted, but... Am I getting too crazy? The Bears would not take a QB. Neither would the Bengals, Bills. I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna try to be stupid. Well, not try to. I'm going to be stupid. Am I? Dude, why am I doing it? I'm just gonna take the QB. I'm just gonna say we got lucky. And what am I gonna get? Another 3rd or 4th round pick? Is it gonna be worth the risk of missing out on a QB here? Welcome Terrell Easley. Hook 'em out of Texas. 6'3", 234, 22 years old, improviser type with elite throw power, elite change of direction, overall a very good athlete with very good throwing ability. Normal dev because something had to be wrong with him, but when he wins Rookie of the Year, it's not even going to be a problem. 89 acceleration, 84 agility, 93 change of direction, 82 speed, 94 throw power, and we know he's going to be accurate. Normal dev looks like it sucks. For QB in a 20-year rebuild, I'm not concerned with it. Terrell easily could be our guy for the duration. Let's just simulate to round 2, pick 7. See who gets to us. There goes Jonathan George. QB falls to round 2, pick 6. And there is a receiver still on the board. Now, I think the running back is gone. I think that's true. Now, we could team up the quarterback we drafted out of Texas with his teammate Broderick Lowell out of Texas. Doesn't look bad, doesn't look amazing. Only 21 years old, though. If we have hidden dev, it would definitely be a good pick, but we obviously don't know that. My favorites, I do have a QB still, which I guess we could draft, although I think it would be irresponsible given our other needs. DeAndre Tolliver looks good. Be a third corner for us. As B-Man and B-Zone, he's 6'4". Why not, dude? Well, that's why. Normal dev, but good athletic ability. He is 23 years old already, so that's a little bit lame, but should be good for a number of years here, and we'll see what happens at round 3, pick 7. Could still take a linebacker even after signing Patrick Queen in free agency. Just kind of depends on who is available. And a quarterback I liked is still available, but a couple of linebackers I liked are also still available. I wish I knew block shed and zone coverage, but elite speed. It ran in the 4.3s on his pro day. I mean, awareness out of Clemson. Welcome to the Bucs. Hidden dev, 91 speed, 89 acceleration at 6'3", 237. That's a nice pick. Okay, I am making a very weird trade, but it's a 4 this year, a 2 in 2025, and a 3 in 2026 to get 2 third-round picks here from the Cardinals. Trying to get talent here early. Now, are we jumping the gun a little bit? It's possible. It's possible because, you know, we're not competing next year. Like, that's not necessarily the goal, even though we'd like to. It's about being good long-term. But at the same time, when you see talent, you know, down the board a little bit, it's hard not to try and take advantage of that at the time. Brett Wall seems to be a very good run blocker with awareness, good athlete, seems like really great value, and he does have hidden dev. 89 strength, great acceleration, speed's pretty good. I think that was definitely worth the trade up, but I got 2 third-round picks. So, need to hit on the other one. There goes Jeremy McGee. Was he on the draft board? I think he might have been the linebacker that I had watched. Oh, there is another one, though. Keon Baptiste from Tech. He's good. I'm going to draft the quarterback here. Deron Hood. Very close to Dorian Hood from Riverside Royals Dynasty on NCAA 14, a.k.a. college football revamped. Accuracy looks good. Speed is apparently elite. Quarterback controversy in Tampa Bay? Maybe so. He's got hidden dev with 91 throw power and 90 speed. 89 acceleration, 87 agility, 86 change of direction. Oh my goodness. Okay. We might have a little bit of a controversy brewing. You know what? A zone safety with B hit power and great speed. Definitely something here for a day 3 pick. Looks like a good athlete too. I'm happy with that. Okay, draft is over. I don't know. This is going to be interesting to see. And Carroll is a 79 overall, so a very good start. 91 speed only, but that's pretty good at receiver. It's not terrible. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. Route running's good. Agility is obviously incredible. I think he was absolutely worth the trade up. Is he going to be a guaranteed superstar X Factor? No, probably not, but he could be. 76 overall for the rookie QB is good. Very accurate. He's going to be the starter. He's just going to be. Now, the QB we drafted in the 3rd round is a 70. He is very interesting. The accuracy is coming along. He's got a ways to go, but is obviously a freak athlete. We're going to try and develop him. And then there could be QB controversy year 2 or 3. We'll have to see. Brett Walls is 73. That's eventual starting center. Donnie Brooks is not his name, but Danny Brooks is 73. That's going to be good enough to end up getting starting reps. Very good athlete, obviously. Tackling's already good. And then the corner's a 74 overall. I think that's going to be good enough to be a CB3. Man and zone is both 78. So what's bringing down his overall? Just play rec and awareness? Really, that awareness is pretty low. But I think despite getting some normal devs in there, that was a really solid draft class overall. And I'm pretty stoked about this next season. And this is probably going to be the first time I ever do 2 quarterback drills here in training camp. Because, yeah, Terrell easily getting upgraded is going to be really important. But we actually have a QB2 to develop. And if you look at the Commanders when they drafted RG3, and I've never seen this angle just stay like this, but okay. When you draft RG3 and then Kirk Cousins, you know, Kirk Cousins ends up being the better quarterback of the two long term. Obviously, RG3 dealt with some injuries. You know, it was a big factor in his development, clearly, and maybe lack thereof. Why are these angles not changing? This is so bizarre. Also, this QB is wearing now Tom Brady's number 12. He's got an interesting throwing motion, though. I kind of like it. Kind of like a little bit of a slingshot. Maybe not a slingshot, but he does sling it. Not too bad. I mean, he does throw a beautiful ball. Just lobbing it up there. Oh, look at that. Pure chemistry between Easley and Mike Evans. We throw on the run here. Cross body. Oh, that's actually beautiful. Okay. Well, 32K. And hopefully an upgrade to star dev for the rookie QB. Throw me a bone here, please. Nope. Also, not completely relevant at this exact moment, but we have to get rid of Russell Gage. His contract is like really bad, and he's going to be pretty much useless for us. Now, this one I'm very bad at, but I am trying. It's just not going well. If I get gold on this one, it's going to be a miracle. I don't even think I'm using that word too liberally either. I think it will be an absolute miracle if I can somehow weasel my way to gold. Although, if we can keep this momentum rolling, you never know. Get it over the middle. Russell Gage. That gets my multiplier activated. Or continuing to stay active, I should say. We need that to be caught. Mike Evans, that's huge. Okay. No, we could do gold. Gold is actually not incredibly out of the ordinary. Now, I sent Mike Evans back down towards the quarterback, and he's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So, there goes not only the multiplier, but whatever that route was so bad. I will say, this one's kind of hard sometimes. The routes just aren't always great. Jeez. And, you know, you can't hot route anything. You're just stuck with whatever they decide to run. And, I mean, like, where do I go here? I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I'm going to get picked off. It's like, if you don't get the correct route combos on the field, you're just not going to do it, I guess? I'm not. Now, I'm somehow going to finish very close to gold, which is giving me false hope, and now I actually think I'm capable of doing it. It's going to be a lot of just spamming quick passes to get that multiplier up, and then trying to use Playmaker to, you know, work bombs open down the field. Maybe I have to do more pass leading. Or like the special passing to really lead the ball away from these linebackers. That's going to be what I need to do. And when guys like Chris Godwin just can catch everything, we definitely have a really good chance of getting gold. I have confidence now. Done this drill a couple times. I feel like I know what to do. I know how to play it. I feel like we're going to get a different result to what, you know, whatever happened the first time. Just no drops, please. No drops, and we're going to be good. It's so tough. It's like they notice you get in a rhythm of throwing the ball, and they're like, let's just put a bunch of routes deep down the field that we cover perfectly. And then, you know, obviously you're screwed, and you can't do anything. That resets the multiplier. If you hold on to the football for too long, you get sacked, which resets the multiplier. Guys drop the football. I might actually just have to settle for silver, which I don't want to have to do. But I don't know. Can I do gold? I'll keep trying. All right, this is the one. This is the one. That's just an easy multiplier for Russell Gage. We're going to keep throwing short whenever we can. There's Mike Evans. Huge run after catch. This is actually going to be massive. Evans diving touchdown. This is Absolutely the closest we've been to gold. And we totally just threw it all away. Oh, unbelievable. I don't know why. I tried to take a shot to Mike Evans. It's worked before. I got greedy. Gold is going to be very tough. What am I supposed to do with these option routes? Where are we supposed to go with the football? I guess there? We lost yards. I'm telling you, it's basically impossible for me. It's just not going to happen. It's sad, but it's, you know, I don't know if I can do it. Now we're doing it again. This could be it. It's only my next attempt, but look at this. This is, you know, routes deep down the field. We actually get one open, though, and they just cover it too well. Just not to be. Also, what's sad is I have this super freak athlete dual threat quarterback, and I'm just stuck in the pocket against 12 defenders. Is what it feels like. Obviously, 12 would not be allowed, but that's what it feels like. 7 defenders is just tough to throw on. Any way you slice it. Even though sometimes they're doing their own thing. Just gets difficult. I actually haven't seen this. Oh, you just stopped running? Just, why continue your route? That's a good idea. Just stop it. Get bored as I'm going to throw to you. Throwing with anticipation? Nah, it doesn't exist because they just stop running sometimes. We still have a good attempt, though. This could be it. Is this it? 894 points away. I had an 11 multiplier. Why is this so hard? Do you guys just completely destroy this and it's only me who can't manage to get gold easily? This one is killer. You know what? Whatever happens, at least I can sleep tight knowing that I have an elite zone coverage defensive lineman. Number 98. That one I didn't even think about. Number 98 on this team. Look at him off the edge there. This is the best cover player of all time. He's unbelievable. And he's ruining every chance I have of gold regularly. Look at the closing speed. He looks like he's 300 pounds. And he's just completely ruining my life. And even, like, Ryan Neal gets at everything. This is a good attempt, and it won't be enough. Like, why is this what we're doing on the goal line? Why would that be the play? It's worked. Dude, we're so close. We just gotta continue this momentum. Oh, a big touchdown here. Please, this could finally be gold. This could finally be it. It's not gonna be. Oh, Mike Evans just caught it. Oh my God, Mike Evans, I love you. I love you, Mike. Oh, that's so huge. Finally. And you know what's funny is now we're gonna absolutely demolish the target score that we couldn't even come close to previously. Now it's easy. Now all of a sudden it's easy. We're gonna score 30,000 points maybe. That's just how these go. I'm telling you, dude, it's unbelievable. As soon as you go over early, they're like, oh, we don't care. We don't care. It doesn't matter. We'll just not even play at all anymore. It's crazy. Either way, we finally got gold. That took me like, I'll make up a time. I'll say that took me 6 minutes. That's believable, I guess. You guys have no way to verify it, so yeah, maybe I rounded up. Maybe it was 5.5 minutes. 5 minutes, 36 seconds. Yeah, let's go with that. Now, let's see what Carroll's capable of. We know he's going to be really quick. The change of direction is going to be unbelievable. The agility is going to be fantastic. The route running is going to be crispy. And he is absolutely torched. I believe, is that Jamel Dean? Yeah, it is Jamel Dean wearing 35. Looks pretty tall. I thought Jamel Dean was like 5'10". But, I don't know, looks a lot bigger for some reason. I guess this receiver's not like that big. I guess he's only like 5'11", so that makes sense. Never mind. He looks about the size he should be. Who's throwing here? Is this Kyle Trask? Who's this little honky at QB? What did you say? Alright, don't worry about it. Just run by him? Oh, pretty much. Give me the gold. We already got it, but 500 is what I was looking for. And Carroll here. Making a really nice first impression. Getting deep down the field, winning vertically, and catching the football. Get Kalijah Cansey working a little bit. He could be on the team for a really long time if we're able to develop him. He was obviously a menace of a pass rusher at Pitt. Really, really quick. Of course, everyone compared him to Aaron Donald. They're very different players, but they both can be explosive pass rushers, and that's what the Bucs are hoping for, obviously. Getting somebody that can really get to the quarterback regularly. And, I mean, he's just got such an advantage against interior offensive linemen with his blend of burst and hand usage. So, he could end up being a pretty nice player. And he's doing pretty nice in this drill. Should be automatic gold. If we can get him up to superstar dev, that could be a really big game changer for this rebuild. Because that we can pretty much lock him in for maybe 7-8 years on our defensive line. But he's struggling to get off the block there on Luke Gadecki. So, maybe not going to be so good. Stay in bounds. That's unreal. This could be another 150 attempt. Don't want to spoil or jinx anything, I should say. But we're going to do 120K easily with no mistakes. A fumble could definitely change things. There's plus 15,000. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 150 again. Maybe even more. This should be a new record for me. I've seen people send me like 200 and something, which is possible, but I screwed up early in this one, which is hurting our bottom line. But we're going to finish with just a little over 159,000. I think I've got that one down. Having a 6'3" or 6'4" corner in this particular drill is just ridiculous. Of course, I can't show it. He doesn't even throw it. But you just get to everything. Any type of lobbed pass, you're just completely in position. Throws that are underneath enough, you just kind of stand in front of and your arms go up and get it. Very nice. Also, Brett Wall, who we drafted, is a 75 overall right guard. And I am considering trading Ryan Jensen, but until that happens, if that even does happen, we're going to start Brett Wall at right guard, where he's the only scheme fit of anybody here. So, good for him. We do have, Kate Otten, Rashad White, and Carroll, but, on the offensive line is what I'm talking about. Devin White also up to superstar dev. Vita Vea has X Factor. Did he have it already, though? He may have. Nope, he didn't. Danny Brooks does have 65 finesse moves. Coverage is fantastic. This is a really, really good draft pick from us. I think we're going to put him at left outside linebacker and let him get to work. 1 and 5. Not exactly where we want to be here mid-season 2024. And once again, it's probably time to sell some of our older assets. Wirfs, absolutely not. Godwin, we're going to re-sign. Jensen's got to go. Carlton Davis, I'd like to re-sign. And then, where's Russell Gage? I talked about getting rid of him at the start of the year, and I didn't. Oh, he's going to get traded too. Well, this is how I'm finding out going to trade. Kalen Carroll has superstar X Factor. We're probably not going to know the quarterback because he's not playing. The right guard. Brett Wall has just star. Danny Brooks has just star. And I think that's it for the rookies. We are trading Ryan Jensen and Russell Gage for a second-round pick this year. I think that's fine. Obviously, Ryan Jensen was not going to be somebody that factored into the long-term future of this team. And we just kind of have to, again, hit the reset button a little bit. As frustrating as that may be, I unfortunately think it's the right move. And there's going to be another just freak receiver at the top of the board. Okay. I mean, out of Ohio State, too? How do I not? How do I stop myself from wanting to draft a generational potential receiver? I know I have one, potentially. This is going to be an interesting draft. That's all I got for you. Is this receiver nuts, or this running back nuts as well? Yeah, probably. Oh, this draft class is so stacked. I mean, I surely can't. Can I get 3 top 10 picks? No, I don't really want to trade Chris Godwin. I just extended Mike Evans. We might have a tough decision. So this Tristan Wirfs contract is going to be absolutely incredibly expensive, but he is so good. Left tackle, you're just not going to be able to find that easily. And Tristan Wirfs is back for 7 years. 4-year deal for Rod Christopher Godwin. Still crazy. That's his first name. I was so surprised when I found out in Lions franchise. Anyway, I'm fine with a 4-year contract. He's not ready to accept it, though. After seeing this receiver in the draft, I'm kind of thinking that I regret paying Mike Evans. He just might be somebody we end up trading. But until then, it might make sense to just stash this unbelievably talented receiver at the top of the draft if we are able to get in a position to draft him. It's just so tough for me, especially in a 20-year rebuild, to be focused on the next 3 or 4 years when we could draft a player that might set us up for the next 15. And I really am not exaggerating when I say that. If you draft like an 85 overall 21-year-old or whatever he is, he's got A's across the board. This is a player worth giving it all up for. A, deep route running, A, short route running, spectacular catch, catching traffic, catching release. Only B, medium route running. Oh man, we shouldn't even consider him. Leslie Campbell, I would draft him at number 1. Is that a move that makes sense in real life? No, it isn't. In this world, oh my goodness, yes, it is. And that running back could also be generational or borderline generational. I always say generational. That's literally how they're defined in Madden, right? As, you know, those mid to high 80s players that just don't come around very often. Those are the generational players in the game that are just going to completely change a franchise. And in a 20-year rebuild, we got to set ourselves up for success. We're not going to make the playoffs this year. Lose out. Lose out. If we finish with more than 5 wins, I might be disappointed. Now we finish with 4. The Saints, however, go 3-14. I don't want to have to trade up with the Saints, but we might have to. Terrell easily throws for 24 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, about 3,500 yards. Is that going to be enough to go up to star dev? I don't know that it is. We'll have to see. Rachaad White still doing nothing. That's kind of why I want to go after that receiver if he's good enough. And our receivers really didn't do a whole lot. Kalen Carroll had a decent rookie year. His attributes are crazy. He's a superstar X-Factor player. And if we thought that Chris Godwin and Mike Evans was a great duo, we could get the next one with Kalen Carroll and Leslie Campbell, I think it was. Devin White might have won Defensive Player of the Year. 1.5 sacks, 4 for loss, 6 interceptions, and 114 tackles. That is a very, very good year. That might push him up to Superstar X Factor. That would be a real big difference for our team if that happens. Terrell easily with a skill point. Show me star. Thank you. Did he win Offensive Rookie of the Year? He did. Okay, so that's why I'm not really too concerned about getting just a normal dev QB, because those guys are so easily upgraded in dev trade. And, you know, that 1 year as a rookie where he threw for 24 touchdowns and 3,500 yards that we just saw, it's only going to be up from there. So is he going to become a superstar and Superstar X Factor? It's entirely possible. Also, you might hear the cat trying to give her 2 cents on the mic. Sorry about that. Falcons win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes wins MVP. And we are headed to the offseason. Now, the biggest thing for me right now is what pick we're actually going to have. And I'm actually going to check out the mock draft this time around. We pick at number 4, number 17, and then we have the Patriots' second round pick. We have, of course, our first round pick next year. We might use that to trade up, because if that running back is as good as I think he might be, I'm going to just be stupid and not only draft a running back in the first round, which I'm okay with occasionally. Depends on the player, obviously, depends on the spot, depends on the team. A lot of variables, right? It's more complex than just drafting a good or bad player a lot of the times in the NFL. Although, a lot of the time, you do just want to have good players. So, anyway. In Madden here, I think we're just going to go for it. Get the best players we can. And a running back in Madden is actually extremely valuable. And that's not to say that they're valueless in real life. I'm not all the way to that side. I do recognize a lot of the time you can find like similar value or similar production from the running back position, you know, on day 2 or day 3, and even undrafted rookie free agents. However, if you still can find an extremely talented player in the first round at running back, get the 5th-year option, get them for their entire prime, it makes sense to do that sometimes. So I don't hate the Falcons taking Bijan. You know, I don't hate the Raiders taking Josh Jacobs and a number of other running backs that I think have been decent picks. But it really also depends on the strength of the team And sometimes it makes sense to go a different direction. That's a conversation for a different day, probably. But Chris Godwin, we'd like to bring back. I think 4 years is good. Mike Evans will be the one that gets phased out, probably just because he's way older. And I think we're just going to keep money here and just continue to roll over our salary caps. We get more and more and more. So then we have to re-sign some of the amazing players we're drafting. We have the money to do so. Javon Holland is here, though. Don't really need him at the moment. Although anytime you see someone who's extremely talented and young, it makes sense to try and offer them. Just 9 other teams are going after Javon Holland. To me, I just don't really think there's a reason to join in on the sweepstakes at the moment. But we're going to offer Tommy Townsend and I believe Jake Elliott was who I targeted. Get a kicker and punter. Just get them pretty much secured for the rebuild. Townsend certainly signed. Jake Elliott playing hard to get. All right, well, we're going to keep rocking. We're going to keep pushing. See if we can get him to sign on the dotted line. Just sign, Jake. What's the deal, dude? You're a kicker. You got a contract offer. Just accept it, finally. We got Tommy Townsend, who's a Florida guy, and Jake Elliott to sign. Kicker and punter are now good. So what we can do is just go ahead and drop whatever we had on the current team. So, Christopher Dunn, thanks but no thanks. Oh yeah, I forgot the Bucs drafted Jake Camarda. Well, we don't need him anymore. Sorry about that. Freeze a little bit of cap room. I know that's going to be unpopular. It's the punter. Relax. Yeah, Leslie Campbell's going to be insane. I just need to find out if the running back's a top 5 talent. I think we probably should just, make a crazy move and move up. Now, the big issue we're facing here is that the receiver and the running back are both expected to go inside the top 2. So not only would we have to trade up from 4 to 1, which is going to cost a lot, probably, surprisingly, maybe not like a ton compared to real life value, but still a decent bit. When you factor in that we also would have to move up from 17 to 2, which is a huge move. And I don't know how we're going to swing that at the moment. Now, the Saints need a quarterback. What is our rookie dev trait? Was also star. So it's nothing super insane. Do we want to give him to the Saints, though? I really don't want to do that. So here's what we're going to do. If I could hold on to 4... that'd be great. 17, 2026, 1. It's just going to be, at least 3 first rounders, I think, to move all the way up. It's going to be expensive. And the reason I'm doing it this way is it's basically going to be just as expensive to move up to number 1 as it is to number 2. So I might as well just try to go all the way up to 1 now. With 17, keep 4. God, this is going to be so annoying. Trading 2 first-round picks, both this year. A second in 2027, a third in 2027, and a fourth this year as well. So now I don't have any of our first-round picks that we just had. We only have number 1. And I don't know what we're going to do if this is a top 5 running back, which it is. Oh, God. He's just probably going to be very, very good. I mean, elite overall athleticism. Got a juke move, break tackle, spin move, stiff arm. And we're going back to 1970. We're going to take a running back number 2. I don't know how we're going to get up there without trading Mike Evans, and we might have to trade Mike Evans. Now we're flashing back to also a million years ago to where a receiver can actually go at number 1 overall. I think Keyshawn Johnson did, and I know Irving Fryer did. Those might be the only 2 receivers I can name that went number 1 overall, but he is clearly just on another level as a receiver prospect. Just A's all over the place. 21 years old, out of Ohio State. Receiver U at this point. Right there with LSU, too. Maybe Ohio State has the lead right now. But 92 speed, 98 acceleration, 99 jumping, 87 agility and change of direction. Amazing strength as well. I hate to sign Mike Evans and then trade him, but based on where we are as a team right now, I don't know how we don't make that move. Mike Evans has regressed down to an 86. He's regressing rapidly. Oh my goodness, that's way faster than I would have expected. We have to act fast. It's the time to trade him. He's going to be receiver 4 on the team, maybe. That was a bad contract in hindsight, but hindsight's 2020. Or 2025 is the year, excuse me. This is the trade. It's borderline, or no, it is brain dead. It is brain dead. But for the sake of trying to be really fun and drafting a generational running back, I've decided to do it. It is stupid. I recognize that. I'm not saying this is amazing value for us. It seems like when Mike Ditka traded his entire draft to get Ricky Williams, but also hook him. Actually, the right move. We were trading Mike Evans, Rachaad White, a first-round pick in 2026 and 2027, and a 4th in 2027 for number 2 overall to go back-to-back. Dude, I recognize this is not realistic. I recognize that, but Jason Autry, we ought Tree to draft him. You know what I mean? He just looks insane. If he has normal dev, I'm going to be devastated, but he doesn't. He has 93 speed, 97 acceleration, 91 agility, 87 change direction. I just realized I forgot to check the running back with a juke move last year. I wonder if we can find him. But yeah, we just picked, skill players that are not quarterbacks at 1 and 2. And we traded up a ton to do so. But we're trying to set ourselves up for the rebuild. And sometimes that involves being a little stupid. Draft a tight end here. JT Groves. Yeah, normal dev had some good A attributes, just not exactly what we were looking for. Probably should have used that to get an interior offensive lineman now that Ryan Jensen's not here. But this is a building year. We've set ourselves back a little bit, but we have such an incredible amount of talent on the offense now that it'd be tough to think this is not going to be one of the best offenses in the league. I know number 29 last year. Watch that jump in 2025. I promise you it's going to jump, and please show me unbelievable high overalls. Yes, Leslie Campbell is an 85 out of the draft. That is incredible. Catching is amazing, athletically amazing. He will have superstar X Factor at an 85 overall. I'd be shocked if he didn't. And then Jason Autry from Boise State is an 83 overall. Tight end's a 72, by the way. Decent backup, I guess. 83 overall elusive back with 92 juke move, 86 spin, 87 change of direction. Strength, trucking, stiff arm are all in the 80s. Agility is already at 91. He's got aggressive possession and run after catch traits. That's insane. Only 66 catching, though. I think that's the right move. He's 6'1", 221. He's like Adrian Peterson. Plus, give him 5 pounds for the fun of it. Yeah, I mean, that's a heck of a player. He's definitely really, really good. Now, is that worth it to you guys? That's going to be the question. It's just so tough to pass up these generational players when I see them. Some really, really, really talented players, and then kind of a drop-off. And I think we did a decent job. So where are we now with draft picks? So that's 2026. Doesn't matter. 2027, we have a 2, a 6, and a 7. And then 2028, we only have day 3 picks without our 4th. So, again, we've kind of set ourselves back 2 years in terms of draft picks, but I feel like the talent that we actually did get to the team is so amazing that I almost feel like I can justify it. I say almost, right? I'm not saying, oh my goodness, you'd be stupid not to like the move I just made, but it's just tough to turn that type of talent down. It's already one of the best running backs in the league. I'm looking for this running back that was in last year's class. It was not Broderick Lowell, I don't believe. Texas, I should have teamed him up. If he had superstar X Factor to start, I screwed up. Now, he might not have. He might not have. But I think he did. Because we would have seen an upgrade, right? Yeah, so that would have been a nice pickup, but he's only a 79 overall. We just drafted a higher overall player, but I agree that if you're going to bring up the draft, spot, that's a good argument, I guess. I think this was the back. Terrence Cox from Oklahoma, normal dev, even with 93, 94 juke move, he also has all these catching traits. Huh. All right, well, I feel good about where we are. I'm not going to guarantee that the running back we drafted is a superstar X factor, but I think there's a good chance. And now the huge downside to going up to drafting players at number 1 and number 2, they are expensive. Like Autry's getting paid a pretty decent amount here, as much as $10 million in 2028. And the receiver that we drafted is already an 85 overall at 21 years old. But is fairly expensive as well. It's not like we're getting a cheap deal there. Not in the least. Now, I do need a center, or I could move Wall back over, but I think we're going to sign a center out of free agency. Our receivers are amazing. And then defensively, I like the way the defense looks. Devin White is up to Superstar X Factor, if I didn't mention that already. We did draft a probable star development backup defensive lineman, which is nice. Jamel Dean's up to Superstar Dev. It's a good-looking team. It's not there yet, obviously, but we might be in line for a huge jump up. We're an 85 overall. We could have a really good season here. Signing Lucas Patrick to be your starting center is kind of a rough look, but that's kind of where we are right now. And we're not done yet. We're going to trade Trey Palmer, a 4th next year and a 7th this year, for Dylan Kilmer, backup center from the Commanders, who has hidden dev. He's a rookie with hidden dev, and that's going to be our starting center. And I feel a little bit better about that. And this might be one of the last training camps I actually focus on because, you know, we don't have picks for a little while, really. And the team's in a pretty good spot. So let's take advantage of the opportunity to get some more skill points. Hopefully a dev trade upgrade. That would be pretty nice. But, yeah, let's go in and have a really, really big, I don't even want to say bounce back season because we haven't really done anything yet. But have a really good, like, establishing season. Is that a way to say it? And we have some insane receivers now. You know, maybe that's going to help us in these drills. Although, I just, where am I really supposed to go with the ball on that one? I don't really feel like anybody got open. And I don't think it's that I'm holding onto the ball for too long. Sometimes just nobody's open immediately. And then they don't really try to get open later. It's kind of tough. Oh, that's great. I haven't exactly forgotten about Kalen Carroll already, but from just doing these drills, Campbell, who we just drafted at number 1 overall, seems like he's going to be very worth drafting at number 1 overall. He seems like he is amazing. Just gets open consistently, makes big catches, although there's Kalen Carroll. And that is a really, really difficult catch that he made look pretty easy. And there's another one. Oh, Campbell. Oh, my goodness. See, this is what I'm talking about. This guy just kind of seems like a cheat code. We just throw it to him no matter what. I don't know how Jamel Dean gets a hand on that. That feels like that probably should have been a catch. But yeah, I think Campbell's going to be the best receiver of the 3 that we have. I don't know about year 1 as he drops it. Never mind. Forget it. Forget it. He's over. It's done. Yep, it's over. It's Jover. And it's back on. Look at Campbell. What a catch. Another gold effort on this drill. It's all about that multiplier. And then nothing else matters. If you can just get that multiplier up to like 9, which is easier said than done, it's a guaranteed gold, which we get for our backup quarterback. We're going to still try and develop him, but it's not a primary focus anymore. But I am super excited for Jason Autry. I think rushing attack is going to be a ton of fun. I know Rashad White, you know, we like the homegrown guys, but Autry is just different. And he just looks like Adrian Peterson. Maybe it's number 28. And Adrian Peterson obviously would have been a little bit different with the build. I'm not saying this is an Adrian Peterson build, but he really does kind of, and maybe it's at 28, as I said, but he really just does feel like how Adrian Peterson would feel in the game. Adrian Peterson, I would say, would be a little bit faster, definitely more trucking. But, I mean, 93 speed for a running back is still crazy fast. You're not really going to find a whole lot faster than that in Madden. And maybe Adrian Peterson would be 93 speed. That actually could be accurate. Low 4.4, maybe 4.4 flat. Adrian Peterson was so good. My favorite player of all time, even though we went to Oklahoma. In 2004, when he was just breaking out onto the scene, just dominating, I was like 7 years old. But even though I love Texas, how do you not just appreciate that type of talent. You know, you're kind of too early to really despise teams, right? And even though I hate Oklahoma, I will always love Adrian Peterson on the field. He was unbelievable. And that's who I'm going to say Autry is. He is our Adrian Peterson. And he is a beast. Is he going to rush for 2,000 yards? You know what? Probably not. But we could get close. I don't know. Dude, Jamel Dean is just getting cooked. I'm sorry for you, buddy, but Kalen Carroll is too good. I mean, we have Campbell too, but, you know, as soon as I started talking up Campbell, of course, we took #1 overall. Kalen Carroll has just been making plays. And, I mean, he's also insane and a superstar X Factor player. So, he's also sick. Our receiving core is just going to be the best of all time. It's definitely going to be the best duo of all time after Chris Godwin's gone, but he's still here for a few more years at least. So, it's just going to be, you know, the Bengals receiving core with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd on crack. That's essentially what it is. We're just going to be unbelievable. That's my expectation anyway. We'll see what the numbers end up producing. He even caught that. How did he stay in bounds? Yeah, Kalen Carroll is legit, but we already knew that. So you guys want to see Leslie Campbell in action. How unstoppable is he? Ah, he sucks. Now let's give him a chance to win a ball in the air. Go up and get it. Leslie Campbell. Oh, he might actually suck. Is he a bust? Somehow normal dev? He's not caught one of these. What are you supposed to be good at? I thought you didn't drop the ball. Jamel Dean has only forced incompletions. I know I could be catching it with just regular catch, but I wanted to give him a chance to prove himself. And I'm somewhat disappointed. We can't get gold on this one. I'll have to redo it. But I wanted to make some contested catches. It just has not happened. Ooh. And I've accidentally continued. Oh, my goodness. All right. And also, chase and tackle just got that just got that much more difficult with the addition of Autry into our backfield. Kind of frustrating. I could hit stick Rachaad White all day and just get a tackle every time. But that has not worked once with Autry. So I got to go back to cut sticking if I ever want to develop Brooks, who we drafted last year. It's the only way we're going to be able to tackle him. This is how we know we've drafted an insane running back. We are physically unable to tackle him unless we do the cut stick cheese. But it's working out. That's the first cut stick I've landed in like 10 attempts. However, I haven't screwed up because we just keep kind of falling down right in front of him and tripping him up, which has been kind of fun to watch. But yeah, we might post a really good score on this. His lateral movement has not been phenomenal thus far, which I'm fine with in the drills, just not when we actually go to play. I'm telling you, he's going to be amazing. I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about moving up for #2, but I think the talent was absolutely undeniable, and we are in the business of getting a lot of talent onto the team, and I think that's exactly what we've done. See, that's another trip up. That just looks so awkward. Yeah, I don't think I've failed one tackle on this, just no fumbles because we're not hit sticking. We're cut sticking down, so we don't get that huge multiplier. That's why my score isn't even higher right now. But we are going to go, yeah, 200,000 plus. If we did this with a worse running back that we could actually hit stick, I maybe could have done 300K with fumbles, but still going to be an incredible 252,000. Definitely my new personal best on that one. All right, so we have an 84 overall team. This has been an interesting start to this rebuild. We might simulate like 2 years into the future at once. Although, well, not right now. Not right now. Jason Autry with another upgrade point already. He's going to be an 85 overall. Never mind. 84 overall before he's ever played a regular season snap. Very, very good player. I'd go out on a limb and say that. Right tackle could use an upgrade. We have Luke Gadecki starting there. Just traded for that center. He'll, of course, start there. But, yeah, the offense is insane. Really happy with where it is overall. And then defensively, Perrion Winfrey's on the team now. Corners are decent. Safeties are good. Linebackers, I think, are very good as well. And maybe a breakout season from Joe Tryon-Shoyinka would be very nice as well. So I think this could actually be a really good season for us. I know we didn't do well last season, but I honestly think this is the place where we take a big step, because the team looks very, very good. And when they develop over the course of the season, it's going to look even better. We might be at like an 87 overall. That's a realistic possibility. And this is what I'm talking about, a massive improvement. We are 4-2. We have the number 2 offense in the league. We don't run the ball very well. And our defense has been average to maybe slightly below average, but we'll say average. We need more non-skill position players to be good. Robert Gallery, former top 5 pick in the draft. I guess he's going by Bobby now, playing QB. He's lost some significant weight as well. Also, I think he was a lot taller than 6'4". And this could be the one, actually. We don't really need safety so much. I'm looking more for pass rushers. Not really that great of an athlete. I don't know. The draft is going to be pretty boring this year for us. So if there is a year where the draft has to be not very good, I would wish it to be this year. Joe Tryon's going to be a free agent, wants to go back home to Washington. We got to stop that from happening. Cade Otton in here as well. Logan Hall, I'm probably not going to bring back. Zion McCollum probably going to walk as well. We're going to have to upgrade on Luke Gadecki. It's a good team, and I think we'll probably simulate a couple years in the future after this year. We'll have to see what happens, and that'll be a nice bridge between, you know, not having any top picks in the draft, and we're going to have to pay Joe Tryon. However, he's not that expensive because he's only an 81 overall. He has about maybe 2 or 3 more years of development. So we'll do a 5-year contract, and Joe Tryon is back. Cade Otton, however, is going to be about the same amount. Kind of crazy. 4 years. Yeah, we can handle this. This is pretty good. And Cade Otton returns. And we have made the playoffs. 13-4. Panthers and Falcons both went 9-8. Saints doing very poorly at the bottom of the NFC South. But unfortunately, even after winning 13 games, we are playing in the wild card round of the playoffs. Show me big numbers, and we got them. Terrell easily led the league in passing touchdowns, over 4,300 yards passing, 42 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. You're looking at a guaranteed superstar after that season. Yeah, I told you. Normal dev at QB just doesn't matter. You want the traits, and that's what he has. Jason Autry did better than anything we were able to do with our former running back, who I won't even name at this point. No, Rachaad White, just he didn't have the team around him that now Jason Autry has. He had a very, very good season, and he does have superstar X Factor. He's already up to an 89 overall with 99 acceleration. Oh my goodness. Does it seem worth it now? To me, it seems worth it. 16 touchdowns as well. And then receiving, Leslie Campbell had quite the rookie year. 1,150 yards receiving, 11 touchdowns on 77 catches, and of course, superstar X Factor development as well. Yeah, he's also unreal. Kalen Carroll was also really good. Chris Godwin was really good. Cade Otton did his thing. He's fine. And then defensively, Patrick Queen and Devin White right there for tackles. The LSU duo back together, by the way. And tackles for loss, 12 from Danny Brooks, who also had 6 sacks. 11 TFLs for Vita Vea, who had 6.5. 9 from Logan Hall, actually led the team. We need Joe Tryon to step it up. I need to see double digits and a ton of interceptions for the team, too. Mostly from those linebackers, but a couple from the secondary as well. Maybe more than a couple. I'd give you several. We beat the Panthers in the playoffs. I don't know why the previous game's not popping up on that top line. I feel like it usually does. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like it usually does. Jason Autry is going to go up to a 92 overall with morale in his rookie season. This is no regular 22-year-old rookie, I'll tell you that. He is insane. Cade Otton will do vertical threat. We signed him so we can upgrade him freely without fear of it making the contract more expensive. That is a real thing. And then I wasn't really planning on going week by week here. It's a 20-year rebuild. It's a marathon. We're not sprinting to a Super Bowl. If we get to the Super Bowl, great. And we are eliminated, I guess, as we don't have an NFC championship game. I don't know why that's not popping up in the top. It's really annoying. But it's not popping up. So we're out of the playoffs, unfortunately. And we're going to go to the offseason. Terrell Easley Does have abilities now. He is a superstar development player for winning quarterback of the year. And he's only 23 years old. He's an 85 playing up to a 92. That's quite a big boost there. Do we want to do Scrambler? What's his throw on the run right now? 87? That's not low. Why is that showing up like it's low? Let's do Improviser. Upgrade throw under pressure. Maybe some deep throw accuracy in there. Throw under pressure by 2, deep throw accuracy by 1, and throw on the run by 1. It's a nice upgrade. What would Scrambler even do for him at this point? I'm not really worried about that. I just need that accuracy to go up, which is already pretty good now. And then Jason Autry, I'm sure, won Offensive Rookie of the Year. I guess I'm not sure. It could have gone to the receiver as well. But yes, he does win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Plus 6,000 XP. And more power back upgrade for him. Trucking is not going up high enough, but I don't even think it's going to matter. He's already a 91 as a rookie. I guess going into year 2 now, but yeah, that is just insanity. Josh Allen wins MVP as the Bills finally get a Super Bowl. They beat the Commanders. It's an interesting matchup here in only 2025. Not really anything here to re-sign for us except for picking up the 5th-year option on Kalijah Kancey. We could re-sign Logan Hall if he's cheap enough, which he probably will be, I guess. Actually, a little bit more expensive than I would want. Why would he be expensive? Because he plays defensive end? I guess that's a decent reason. He wants to play for a new team. Okay, have fun. Ronnie Stanley in free agency. Definitely don't need a receiver. Ronnie Stanley is a decent option, though. The only question is, do we only sign him for like 2 or 3 years? 1 year, okay. Well, I'd like 3, actually. That's my starting right tackle for kind of a long simulation. We have money. It's not an issue at all. So Ronnie Stanley, please be a Buck. And he is. He signed on. We got the top free agent. He's going to play right tackle. Or would it be wiser to put Tristan Wirfs back at right tackle now that we have our left tackle? No, I don't think so. Has Ronnie Stanley played right tackle before? I feel like he does, or has, right? I feel like he... Has Morgan Moses played right tackle? I can't remember, but he's going to play right tackle for me. Okay, we pick at the end of the 2nd round. I think I'm just going to trade down from that spot if I can. I need to recoup more picks because, you know, we traded, away so many of them. Is there really a player I could take at this spot? Or would I rather, get some picks to actually fill out the rest of the roster, which is what I'm going to try to do. I don't know if it's going to be done through, 3rd rounders. I was looking for a future 2nd. Yeah, this is probably what I want to do with the Niners. Yeah, so we're going to get a 4th this year and then a 2nd and a 7th next year. So we get, a couple extra picks, which is going to be good for actually, filling out the entirety of the team. Hopefully the 49ers are bad next year. Makes that pick a little bit more valuable. And we're going to continue to be good. So I'm not even concerned about that. And then maybe we'll draft somebody with this pick. Definitely not going to be a receiver. That is not a need at all. Gonna have to rearrange my scouts here probably. Ooh, somebody that skipped the combine. It's been a while since I drafted somebody like this. Greg Dillon from Tennessee. All right, said Roger Goodell. Hey, up yours. I'm not doing your damn combine. B hit power, C block shed, B zone coverage. Great speed. Seems like he's a really good athlete. Does have hidden development. 89 speed, 89 acceleration. Are guys that's skipping the combine, is that back to being OP? I'm in. He's a 70 overall. That's interesting. That's not really that bad. 66 for Hassan Harbor and 67 for Keelan Turner. Just depth, really. How good was the rest of the draft class, actually? Oh, a generational center in the 2nd. I think we were past this already. He was already gone. He is an 84 overall pass protector. He looks very good. There's simply, I'd like to be able to trade for him. That would be sweet, but it's just not going to happen. Got Superstar Dev, of course. I've been seeing people send me Superstar X Factor offensive linemen recently. I don't know if it's true or not. I think it's happened to me like once in 5 years of real life time of playing Madden that I've ever seen that. And I don't even know if that's like it was a glitch or I'm remembering wrong. I wanted to say it was impossible, but maybe it's not. I don't know. That center is insane. I mean, I'll put out a feeler, see if maybe we can trade for him, but it's highly unlikely. We'd have to trade a first-round pick. I mean, that's not that crazy, actually. But I just can't do it. Just can't do it. And yeah, congrats to the Falcons on getting somebody amazing. And we're actually going to have to go up against him, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, we're in a great spot here. We're in a great spot. Terrell Easley is developing really nicely. We have an insane receiving core, so he better. And now our running back is insane too. It's just, we're going to have to plead insanity in the trial because this team is insane. That was so corny, dude. But, you know, that's what we like. Corn. Unless they're making music. Any corn fans in chat? I hope not. They're good people, I'm sure. I'm actually not sure of that. They could be bad. Never mind. I take it back. What am I talking about? It's getting late, and delirium is setting in, is what's happening. Sorry about that. Oh, Kalijah Cansey superstar development. I guess it was a good thing I'm still doing these training camp missions or drills. Kalijah Cansey up to superstar is actually huge. So the team looks great. I'll say that. I don't know why we don't have a third X Factor active. Or, I don't know. I don't get how it works. Oftentimes, it just doesn't seem to. So, only have 2 of those going. And it's Chris Godwin and the other receiver, but not Leslie Campbell. And then defensively, team looks very good. Lowry's going to start. That's not great, admittedly, but we'll see what happens. 5-2 at the midseason mark, doing very well. Number 4 offense, number 9 defense. We do have a tandem breakout, but the big reason I stopped here was to re-sign Jamel Dean, Vita Vea. Primo could be an option. Ryan Neal's 30, but is still good. Just doesn't really want to be here, is kind of the big hurdle we're dealing with at the moment. I want Jamel Dean back for probably about 4 years. 29 years old, 89 overall. Yeah, it's a little bit, you know, catching him at the twilight of his career, but that's fine. Vita Vea is 33. I think 89 overall, probably going to be going down to like 84, 82 at the end of this, so we're going to need to replace him. But for 3 years, Vita Vea is still going to be, I think, a solid option at the very least. And then, Cody Moke's already 27. Oh, no, but he's still really cheap. So 5 years at this price is, I think, pretty reasonable. And he is back, the North Dakota State legend. Then Ryan Neal. Yeah, you know what? How about 1 year and you take a little bit more money? That's fine. And you just hang out. Because I'm going to simulate to the end here in a minute, and we're going to look back at what happened. And in the Super Bowl, it's not us. It is the Cardinals out of the NFC. We would finish 11-6. Falcons would win the division. I don't think we've won the division yet, despite having... No, we might have last year, excuse me. But we haven't had the number 1 seed in the playoffs and didn't do super well here. Terrell Easley took a bit of a step back in terms of total yards and touchdowns, but still really good numbers. And Jason Autry also did very well. The numbers just across the board are slightly down. Chris Godwin with a heck of a year, 13 touchdowns. And defensively, Devin White, 100 tackles, 20 for loss for Joe Tryon, 8 sacks, led the team, 7 for Cansey. I'd like our defense to play a little bit better. DeAndre Tolliver breakout year with 4 interceptions. That could be the boost up to star development that he needed. It's at an 82 overall if he gets star dev. Yeah, like, he could push 86, 87 overall, maybe. That's within the realm of possibility, I suppose. And we're going to jump ahead to the near future. Not quite 10 years, as it says, but we're going to jump ahead to the near future and pick this team back up probably 2028. 2028 playoffs, we are 14-2 at the moment, doing very, very well. And I think if we were to beat the 12-4 Steelers, which is a tough draw in Week 18, but if we were to beat them, we would be guaranteed. And I guess I'm not 100% on this, but I think we'd be guaranteed a first-round bye. Terrell Easley up to superstar X Factor, 96 overall strong-arm quarterback. Danny Brooks still trying to develop him. The eventual goal is to move him back to inside linebacker when Patrick Queen isn't the guy anymore. But I just haven't done that. He's been playing outside linebacker in a 3-4. It's not his best role. Greg Dillon has star dev. I was really hoping to just be surprised and overwhelmed by Superstar. Has not happened yet, but we have good backups. So when eventually Devin White and Patrick Queen are not the guys, we have two very good linebackers to replace them for a year or two. And I'm hoping we do not have a wild card matchup. Panthers 9-7, Falcons and Saints both 5-11 at the moment, and we are 15-2. So we did win. We solidified our place in the playoffs. We were gonna make it anyway, but first round bye guaranteed. Kalen Carroll playing up to a 91 overall, +1 speed, because why not? Greg Bass with an upgrade as well. And you'll notice, as I just did, our salary cap is now negative $5.21 million. That Vita Vea contract, I think, would be playing an impact. Of course, Terrell easily got a big contract extension by the CPU. All right, that is a massive deal. That is a lot of our salary cap just gone to one player. Ronnie Stanley's going to be gone, though. Chris Godwin is going to be gone. Carlton Davis, Patrick Queen is an 87 overall, though. This whole trio of skill players are just 99 overalls. Actually, you know what? Kalen Carroll's only a 97, excuse me. But Leslie Campbell's a 99 at 24 years old. Jason Autry's a 99 at 25 years old. But money is a bit of a problem. Terrell Easley with another insane season. 33 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Jason Autry was also spectacular. Over 1,400 yards rushing, 5.6 per carry, and 16 rushing touchdowns. Kalen Carroll had a great year, led us in both yards and touchdowns. Leslie Campbell led the team in catches, also a great year. Chris Godwin was still very good. Cade Otton did his job. And then Patrick Queen and Devin White continuing to rack up tackles. Devin White is 30 now, but is a 91 overall superstar X Factor. So not exactly somebody I'm rushing to move beyond, even though we have to focus constantly on, staying younger and not, keeping 30-plus-year-old guys on the team with massive contracts. Still not really producing very much in the sack department, but forcing plenty of turnovers, and we've been very successful. I mean, a 15-2 season is very, very good. And I get that we're 92 overall, 96 offense, 92 defense. I don't know how that's 92 overall, but it is. And even so, you don't see 15 wins very often. That is an incredible milestone. And hopefully this is finally when we win the Super Bowl if we didn't win it in 2027, which I think that's where we jumped from. And yeah, we didn't. So, oh, and we're out of the playoffs again. Are we capable of winning a playoff game? Is that possible? Who are we? The Bucs lost by a field goal to the Bears, let up 38 points. We just can't win in the playoffs. It's truly devastating stuff to this point. We got a new contract, though. That's great. Why are we incapable of winning in the playoffs? The team is the best team in the league, surely, as DeMeco Ryans will head coach against his former team, where he was a defensive coordinator at least. Of course, was a Texans player. And we'll see if the Texans can beat the 49ers, or if Kyle Shanahan will get the better of his old DC. Survey says, don't know. It's not popping up at the top anymore. Okay. Texans do beat the 49ers 21-17. They finally get a Lombardi trophy. Although, to be honest, they haven't been waiting that long. They've been a franchise since the early 2000s. It's not that long. As there's a quarterback named Nails, George Nails. Was he Nails in the playoffs? Well, they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, so maybe not. Cowboys beat the Steelers in Super Bowl, what is that? 62? I think that's 62. I think Roman numerals aren't great, but I think L is 50 plus X is 10 plus 2 is 2. So I think that is true. And then we saw that Super Bowl. So we did miss 2027. But the team, very good, just can't win the big one. And honestly, can't even make it. That's our biggest issue right now. Can't even make the Super Bowl. Obviously, we do have the quarterback contract that we're paying now, but we're being completely handcuffed by Tristan Wirfs just for 2029. We're negative 23.5 mil right now for cap space. Just how could that even be possible? I've explained this before, but when you have a contract that goes up in value for 3 or 4 years before it goes back down in value, right now we're in the middle of this contract. It's 43 million before a massive drop off in 2030 and 2031. We just have to make it that far, and in order to do that, we got to free up a little bit of space right now. So what we're going to do is add 3.7 mil to the final 2 years of the contract, but it's reasonable at that point. And we're going to free up a little bit of cap space right now. That one just had to be restructured. Ronnie Stanley's down to an 85 overall. He puts us in a tough spot. Leslie Campbell's going to have a contract coming up. Of course, Chris Godwin on a 1-year deal now. Kalijah Cansey. Autry will have his contract expiring. So we are in a tough spot. That's just what it is. It's going to be tough for the next season. But I think after we get through this offseason, obviously we're not going to be able to sign anybody, but that's fine. I think after we get through this offseason, we're going to be in the clear. And, I talked so much early about, not going behind. And right now we're behind because we got really good players. We traded up to 1 and 2, and those picks are expensive. And then to extend those guys, the quarterback obviously eating into a lot of our salary at the moment. It's crushing us. And then I go out and I sign Ronnie Stanley because I thought we could make a playoff and then Super Bowl push. Obviously made the playoffs, went 15 and 2 this season, but it has not resulted in a Super Bowl. So we find ourselves in a bit of a tough spot. We got to hit on our draft picks this year. And honestly, Ronnie Stanley should be somebody that I trade. If I can get any type of replacement for him, Ronnie Stanley's got to go. And I think we're going to make a move with the Bears here. Because we're doing this via the trade finder, salary cap is not going to hurt us here. Ronnie Stanley is going to be moved for Nathan Young. He's 22 years old, a lot younger than Ronnie Stanley. And the cap hit is significantly different. Only a 75 overall, but star development. And we actually cannot accept that. Okay. We might have to restructure some things, free up some cap space. I thought that would just go through. That's annoying. I can't cheat the game. We would save money by also getting rid of Chris Godwin. And then we might be able to do something. So our cap space adjusted now is negative 15.7 million. Now, is it still showing in this screen that we're significantly over that? It still is. I don't love the discrepancy, but if I traded Chris Godwin and Ronnie Stanley all in one, are we going to be okay? And I don't really think we're going to miss Chris Godwin too much when we have Michael White, who the CPU drafted. He's fine, I guess, but obviously Kalen Carroll and Leslie Campbell are probably the best receiver duo of all time. So I'm not really concerned so much with who receiver 3 happens to be. No, we just can't afford to move anything, which is fine. If I say it enough, I might believe it. We're going to be picking what? 28th in the draft, something like that. It's going to be important to hit on that draft pick. Now, we can still trade picks. Oh, and there are tackles at the top of the board. That could be good for us. Or a speed rusher. We need help really on both lines. So, Brennan O'Neill could be very good. And a number of these tackles look pretty good. I just don't know how to differentiate which ones are great. Like, Riley Stocker has the most A's in there. Pass blocking's pretty good. His elite speed, which is interesting. Pass block power is not very good, but he's an agile type. He's not power. Just don't know how to determine whether that's good or not. I mean, he looks pretty good. So we pick at number 27 overall. Would consider a trade up at some point. I'm not going to force it, obviously. Now, I scouted Cole Roll. Great name. Had to take a look. 6'5", 250 out of Georgia. A to B pursuit, good. B tackle, good. Zone coverage doesn't matter. He's a pass rusher. Block shedding, C to D is not great, but he's a really good athlete. Really solid. Really wanted to know what his finesse moves was. It's A to B, which is either elite or fine. I wish that were a little bit more clear at 90%. we have like an idea, but I want to be positive, and I'm not positive. A lot of tackles going off the board early, which is bad news for us, because we might want to draft a tackle. There goes Cole Roll. I'm not really going to be trading up into the top 15. I'd consider, you know, around that, you know, maybe 14, 15, 16, something like that. But I don't really want to go up a ton. I'd be comfortable just staying where we are, seeing what gets to us. But at the same time, you know, we do have a number of positions we want to upgrade, and we can't afford to let all of the players we're interested in go off the board. But at the same time, there was a huge run on tackles, and I don't just want to settle and draft a tackle just because we need a tackle. Doesn't really make sense to do that, in my opinion. And I'm not sure we're finding the complete player that I want. You know, I want an offensive lineman that can both, you know, run and pass block. And that's a tough combination to find at the moment. Either kind of get one or the other. Could end up drafting a tight end. AJ Leonard could be good. We don't really know a lot about him. I have an idea that he could be pretty good. I wish spectacular catch were higher. But at the same time, he is an elite athlete at 6'6", 240. And this means we wouldn't have to make a new extension for our current tight end, of course, which is former Washington standout, Cade Otton, and we could potentially draft his replacement with this pick. We'll see if that player is even still available. And he is. Do we just roll the dice? It's definitely possible. It kind of feels like the 2017 draft in a way, where we saw Evan Ingram go off the board. Not saying that's who AJ Leonard is, but, you know, and then David Njoku, I think, was not too long after that. Let's take AJ Leonard. Does have hidden dev, 89 speed, is really fast for a tight end at 6'6", 240, no less. 87 acceleration, 85 agility. Definitely something here. And our offense, which was already seemingly unstoppable, maybe just took a step up. Oh my goodness. This hooker's 6'8", 233. Better get a discount. Elite jumping. Amazing spectacular catch and catch in traffic. Not much of a route runner in the intermediate areas of the field, but not terrible short, pretty good deep. Catching overall is not great. We are going to draft Joe Hooker. Any relation to Joe Mama? Not sure. Normal dev, as I talked about earlier, you know, with the corners, they're not guaranteed to be hidden dev. But I don't think I've drafted a 6'8 receiver this year. And I'm thinking potentially a change to tight end. Could be an option. I might just take a chance on an offensive lineman. I'd love to see A, awareness. This is what I needed to see. This looks like a steal. Sean Rutland from Washington State. A, awareness, A, pass block, B, impact blocking, and B, run blocking. Fine athlete. I think we just got a steal. I think this is a steal. Hidden dev, 87 strength is not too bad. 70 speed as well. And we need offensive line help. Now, this is a center. That's only a center. 6'2", 296. I'm not putting that at guard. No chance. It's already a little light. You'd like to see most of your interior offensive linemen over 300. All of them. And the center is the one position where you can get a little bit lighter. Tackle as you push out if you're athletic enough. Maybe 305. But you need to be heavy enough to move people in the run game. Sean Rutland, we need to utilize his athletic ability. And hopefully he moves well in space, and hopefully he can be a starting center for us. Still might look around the offensive line. Awareness is usually a pretty good tell if a player is going to be good or not, but they also have to have good other skills. Like Jonathan Jackson, I really wouldn't consider. D pass block, run blocking is only going to be average or worse. But DeMarco Frey, I might consider. 6'4", 305, big dude. B awareness, B run blocking. Decent athlete. A lead block. I mean, is it too early? Are we in the 4th round? Am I going to take a potential UDFA? Not going to do that. But it's a lot of just day 3 guys. No one's really slipping down the board too much, and the ones that are just probably aren't very good anyway. Let's take Dexter Nails. He's got A hit power. I think that nickname's going to make sense. Ran pretty well. This could be like another linebacker type. His play rec's terrible. His coverage is bad. I'm interested, though. I'm going to see what we have. Probably not much is the answer, though. Take a shot on a power rusher out of Montana, Bryce Blake. 6'2", 261. Got 90 acceleration, 80 speed, 80 strength. Wouldn't hate that if I were actually playing the games. But here in this 20-year rebuild, probably won't make an impact. And I think we might take shots on back-to-back centers here. DeMarco Frey is first up at a Louisville. Normal dev. The expectations have to be low, right? Have to be low. But he could be like maybe high 60s. And if he's high 60s, could end up being... I don't want to guarantee being a starter, but it's a possibility at least down the line. And I might take another center because I saw a pass block. And that's something. B awareness, lead agility, looks similar, to be honest. Okay, holding that 90 overall. And Nails is bad, Blake is bad, Frey is terrible, Santos is worse. But Sean Rutland's a 72 overall. Joe Hooker's a 73, and then AJ Leonard's a 75. Not bad for a rookie tight end, to be honest. Not much of a blocker. Now, he's got every trait you could ask for. I'm curious about the receiver. Does his overall jump up at tight end? He's got tight end route running. He's got 90 spectacular catch, though. 65 run block's not bad. Impact blocking's a little low. Pass blocking's not great. I think Joe Hooker could play tight end for us. And his overall jumps up to a 75 there. That is interesting. I think he's actually like fit for the position, though. It's not just moving a guy because he's tall. And yep, number 1 tackle in the class is a number 1 player in the class. Went number 1 overall to the Rams. I feel like they've taken a lot of tackles, number 1 or number 2 overall over the years. Think of Jake Long. Greg Robinson was a number 2 pick. Feels like more. And they got the tied for number 1 player in the class with a running back in round 2. They did pretty good. I think we did a good job identifying who the top players were. Ooh, not a very good class, though, if AJ Leonard's popping up inside the top 10 like that. But, yeah. Wish we would have seen some of these guards in round 3. Ty Peters. This guy looks pretty good. I mean, I guess the CPU drafted him last year. Tight end, maybe not at the top of the list, but I'm not really mad about it. The only thing I think I would do is change that guy we moved to tight end back to receiver. But we're not going to retain Otten. Peters could be a fullback. So, you know what? Maybe I don't really have to do anything. How's the defense look? The defensive line's bad. Definitely really bad. We have Kalijah Cansey. Vita Vea is retired. That's tough. None of these guys have X Factors active. Is that always the case? Arbor, by the way, who are you? I remember we drafted him. I didn't know he had superstar dev. I don't think he's going to make anything out of it, but it's pretty incredible that he has it. Say that. We have Ryan Neal. I don't know. Corner is now a glaring weak spot for us. Carlton Davis has retired as well. Arbor's got 79 man coverage. He's slow, and he's going to go play corner for us. Okay, we have some real holes, but we are going into this next offseason draft with a lot more flexibility, and we're going to be able to patch some of these holes. And I think we're still going to be competitive this year. I think our team's good enough. Ryan Neal's got to be replaced at some point. But the defensive lineman in these drafts just has not been good enough. They have not been good enough. So I don't know if we just should force defensive line. Corner is going to be easily found. But you know, I need better talent in these drafts defensively. Offense has been great, right? But defense, not as much. This 6'8" receiver, Shock, is so tall. Turns like a city bus, not great. But, I mean, tall as the day is long. I'll tell you that much. He is a freak. Kate Otton's going to be tight end 2. Just not really a reason to start him if we're not going to really plan on retaining him anyway. Weaknesses on defense that I talked about, but we're going to see what happens. I think this team's going to be good enough to win a Super Bowl. It's a 90 overall. We just got to go out there and get it done. And unfortunately have not done that to this point. I think we've built, obviously, a very good team. And only now are we truly seeing the flaws in the defense, in my opinion, with corner kind of going downhill. The defensive line was never truly very built up, but it was good enough. We were the number 1 or number 2 defense in the league when we went 15-2, and very similar when we went, I think, 14 wins the season or 2 prior. So the team is obviously very good. We just don't have that clutch gene, and we got to work on that clearly. 13-4 and in the wild card round of the playoffs. Again, 97 offense and only an 85 overall defense, which is good. That's definitely not bad, but it's, you know, very far from where we want to be. We want to be 89 for our 97 offense. You have an Alcorn State quarterback. Shout out an RIP Steve McNair. Threw 2 touchdowns this season somehow. 3 for 5. I don't know how he did that. Maybe fakes. That's kind of the only thing I can think of. Is maybe we ran fake kick or easily got injured for a series or something. He had an unreal season. Jason Autry took a bit of a step back, which is disappointing. He's only 26 years old, and he is just fantastic. A really, really good player. And then receiving Kalen Carroll. What a year. 94 catches for over 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns. Leslie Campbell was good, but the touchdowns went pretty much entirely, it seems, to Kalen Carroll. Chris Godwin had a solid season as well, and A.J. Leonard had a very solid rookie year. What was his dev trait? Just star, but he's already up to a 79 overall, so doing pretty good there. And then defensively, we finally got sack production again. 11 tackles for loss for Philip Van Buren. Sounds very presidential. Reminds me of Martin Van Buren. 10 TFLs for Kalijah Cansey, but yeah, Joe Tryon had 13.5 sacks, which led the way, finally, being ultra productive. And I think maybe going over the 90 finesse moves threshold has something to do with it. That would be my guess, but don't know that to be certain. He's 30. I don't know if he can hold a 90 plus overall. It's certainly possible, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. And Hassan Harbor, decent year. Man coverage is up to 88, 90 with morale. Zone coverage is so bad, but he could be a really solid man corner. What's really holding him down? Awareness is kind of low. Play rec, I'm sure, is not super high. Oh, it's 66 plus 1. Yeah, I mean, his man coverage is elite, so he's got that working for him. The Lions are up to a 90 overall. They've done a good job in their rebuild, surely. Seahawks are an 88. Is everyone just super crazy good? I mean, my settings are completely unchanged. I don't want user settings. If you go to, and I'm going to keep talking here so as to not cut this, because people just don't believe me for some reason. Everyone wants to be a conspiracy theorist. Have not changed any of the progression or regression sliders. I considered it, but I do think it's pretty good, just default. And I also have not changed the draft class strength sliders at all over the course of this thing either. Just been flat default. The biggest reason why is it's too much of a pain for me to remember to change it every time. I wish there was a way I could just load in my settings every time, and I would probably always have them on something, right? But this time around, it's pretty frustrating to every time I want to change something, I make 100 franchises easily over the course of a year. It's just annoying to have to change it individually every time. And I wish I didn't have to do that. But am I being lazy? I don't know. I don't think so, because, when I'm doing training camp every single offseason, which I like, it's fun for me to get the extra skill point for the guys. But it takes so long. I feel like in a 20-year rebuild, I'm trying to be both quick, but I also want to be thorough. I don't want to cheat you guys, even though we do, simulate a year or two at a time sometimes. I want to be thorough. I don't want to cheat you guys out of a video. I'm sure the video is going to be super long anyway, but we finally might jump in here in the conference championship facing, he's never going to be power back, we'll just upgrade elusive, facing the Atlanta Falcons. They drafted that like generational center, and even though he doesn't have superstar X factor, that's got to be like the highest overall center you can draft. They also went 13-4. They are an 88 overall, and their defense is the same as ours. Our offense has a big boost, but finally jumping in because we are one game away from the Super Bowl. I usually wouldn't do this in these 20-year rebuilds just because it takes so long already, but we've struggled in the playoffs so far. Some of these fireworks are shooting into the stands. That feels bad. But we finally made it, and I want to take advantage, and I want to see if we can go to the Super Bowl for the first time. It doesn't look like that's going to be happening. We're down 21-0. Our team simply does not come to play in the playoffs. 28-3. Oh my goodness. If the Falcons blow a 28-3 lead again, that would be the funniest thing of all time. It's not going to happen. They just don't stop. Another somewhat early offseason for us, earlier than we would like. Nobody comes to play in the playoffs for us. I don't know what else to say. Our team has, again, no clutch gene. None at all. Season recap has Terrell Easley, our quarterback, winning NFL MVP. I like to see that. Chiefs get another Super Bowl, as long as the Falcons don't win. I'm Team Bucs right now. Falcons franchise is one thing. Obviously, I want, a ton of success. But here, it's the Bucs 20-year rebuild, and I'd like to see the Falcons lose as often as possible, because my allegiance is to Tampa. We'll go to our period to re-sign players. Should have some money to do so. However, these players will be very expensive. It is Leslie Campbell, for one. We have 78 mil now. But who else is going to be in there? Leslie Campbell, Jason Autry, Elijah Cansey, Brett Wall, Hassan Harbor. Okay, we have some high-quality players in here. Chris Godwin, gonna have to walk. Ronnie Stanley, Ryan Neal, gonna have to walk. Cade Otton, he's regressing. He's 31 now. Okay. They're all gonna have to walk. And we'll see what we're able to retain here. Leslie Campbell is incredibly expensive, but we can stretch this out, give us more flexibility. Be more expensive at the end of this, but it's a 6-year contract. He's still going to be good. I might as well just stretch it to 7. Try to keep it as cheap as I can. And Leslie Campbell is back. One of the best receivers in the league. Got to be done. Jason Autry wants to be here. He's at a 98 overall. Is he regressing? Surely not. I wanted to say he was a 99. But he is regressing. With his superstar X Factor at 27 years old. Dude. I mean, you have to be kidding at that point. That's out of control. That's insane. He's got superstar X Factor. I would get if he were maybe even a year older, but and star development, but he's not. He's 27 with the highest development trait you can possibly get. Give him a 4-year deal. He wants to play for a new team. What? No, you don't. You're getting franchise tagged. All right, that's a whole bunch of annoying. Everything that was there. 3-year extension for Elijah Cansey. I might get out of the 3-4, go 4-3, and move him to defensive tackle. Hassan Harbor we can get on a pretty cheap deal. He's a one-trick pony, but that one trick is pretty good. He's very good in man coverage. Brett Wall. Oh, very expensive. Good fit, though. 27 years old, 5-year deal. He's back. We are low on funds. Again. Greg Dillon wants to play for a new team. Why? I'm giving you what you want. Why are these players being difficult? All right. Salary jumps up to $21 million. Evan Young was just a Falcon, I believe. Pretty sure we saw him. Alabama. Maybe the next Julio Jones, even though he's only 5'10". I don't know, maybe that's slightly slower Jalen Waddle. I don't think we're going to be doing anything here in free agency, although Jonathan Bayless is just 26 years old, wants to be in Tampa. That feels like a really good deal. He's not that expensive either. Got a franchise quarterback. We'll find a spot for him on the offensive line, and I honestly think that's going to be cheap long term. I really do. Be a Buck. Be a Buck. We got him. All right, good stuff. Ronnie Stanley, later, we might move that guard we just signed to tackle, or the guard we just paid, we drafted as a center, maybe we'll move him to tackle. Sounds insane, but if he has a frame for it, I can talk myself into it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to kick Cody Mock out to right tackle. He played left tackle at North Dakota State. So, and he also has the frame a little bit for tackle. I think his arms are a little bit shorter than you'd want, but that's not a factor here in Madden, of course. And we're going to move Brett Wall, who we just signed to, or re-signed. We'll move him to left guard. And the right guard we just signed is just going to stay at right guard. And I think that's the best case scenario for this team right now. Moak is 31 years old. He's only a 70, going to be 8 overall at right tackle. And he doesn't have his long locks. They got to get him face scanned into the game. That'd be sweet. But yeah, he's going to play right tackle for us. Maybe the last year of Devin White and Patrick Queen. You have Joe Tryon. Danny Brooks is up to an 88 overall. We need another pass rusher desperately. And we just don't have one. I think our team is just a way better fit in a 4-3. We're going to move things around, and our defense might take a step back because, I mean, Pittsburgh Steelers playbook has been really good for us defensively here, but can't see the D tackle. Try on to defensive end, and we got to draft a defensive end badly. Does the team look better defensively? I don't know. We need defensive line. We need DB help. Harbor's going to stay at corner just because he can't play zone coverage. He's got to stay at corner. But we need corner so badly. We got to upgrade our defense. Linebacker looks pretty good. When Patrick Queen goes, Crosby can step up. Devin White's regressing. We're dealing with regression. 20-year rebuild, that's going to happen. I'd love to avoid it, but it's not avoidable. And we're going to save our money and roll over our unused cap to next year and just build through the draft. I need there to be talent in the draft. I need there to be money in the banana stand. There's always money in the banana stand. That may reference a few of you get. And we potentially could draft tackle as well. I don't know, man. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. Justin Pleasance could be a good pick out of Texas. I'm already halfway in at least. CJ Wesley, I like. Yeah, there is edge talent in this draft for sure. Question is, we upgrade at DB. Joseph Middleton is 5'9" from Cal. Okay athlete. Looks to be pretty good. I like what I'm seeing from Joseph Middleton. A little bit old at 23. It definitely looks good. Free safety. We have a run support safety with C zone coverage. Not the worst. Please be good athletically. Not really. And by that, I really mean marginal speed. But you could play strong safety. Tackling's great. Block shedding's good. Maybe in round 2 is where I kind of am on that. Also, seeing Emmanuel Hall here from Memphis. Don't know why. It just gave me a big flashback to, and maybe I misread it at first, to Emmanuel something at Mizzou. What was his name? 1M is what I remember. Yeah, it was Emmanuel Hall. I thought so. Did he make the NFL? I mean, he was undrafted? Yes, undrafted in 2019. Currently, doesn't seem to be anywhere. He was pretty good at Mizzou, is what I remember. Speaking of Mizzou, Donovan Flowers from Mizzou, 6'3", 209. Great coverage. Great athlete. If we need a corner, Donovan Flowers is the guy. I want to fill all of our needs at once, obviously, and it's not possible. It's not possible to do that. So we might have to make a decision. Would we rather upgrade on the edge and defensive line, or I don't know, try to go after a corner? I like Brandon Peters from Louisville. Speed rusher type with B block shed and B tackling. That's really good because we know finesse moves is going to be high. Really good athlete. This is the exact type of player we needed to find, or somebody good down the board. It's kind of like Elijah Cansey a little bit. There are always speed rush types in here, but we need someone that can do everything. Kendall Everett from the U could also be a good shout. Another very solid athlete at the position. Add him to the list. Thought this said Ernie Sims, former monster at Florida State. This is a tackle who looks pretty bad. This is a good looking guard, though. There does seem to be pretty good talent in this draft overall. To see if you can draft a lot of it. I mean, this center, I'm not just going to draft only centers, but 6'4", 317, pretty big for a center. Good looking attributes as well. I don't know, but pretty much just the name of the game is avoid offense at all costs in this one. I almost don't even want to look at them. Ooh, receivers don't even look that good. So, yeah, we got to focus on defense, upgrade the defense. That's our only focus. We pick at 29. Pleasance is supposed to go inside the top 5. Wesley inside the top 7. And the corner inside the top 12. So, I think the corner in this one is a little bit more realistic for us. How good is Justin Pleasance going to be? Looks like a really solid player. Definitely be a tough player to miss out on, but I don't think we're missing out on a generational player. Definitely very good, no question. And CJ Wesley might even be the better of the two. I think they definitely seem close. They both seem very talented, and I think we're going to have to trade up one way or another. If we get to, 7 or 8 and Wesley's still on the board, I think we'll make a move. He's going to go to the Saints probably at 7. There goes Pleasance at 4. It's going just like the mock draft predicted. So this is where Wesley's going to go. Do I need the edge or the corner more? Just probably can't get both. Honestly, it's kind of close. We could really take either here. And we obviously would have to trade up. It's not just about drafting them. It's a close call. It really is. Need safety too. It's just going to come down to we can't address all of our needs in one draft, as I said. So just try to get in position for the best player available. This Saints pick is going to take, and it's a division rival as well. It's going to take multiple first-round picks, and I just don't, or Tristan Wirfs, and I don't want to do that. Jason Autry, it's just not going to happen. Our more realistic trade-up is something just outside of the top 10 for that corner. And we're assuming Wesley's going to be the pick there by the Saints. And now we'll really start to consider a trade-up. Should be easier to move up to number 11 than it was to, say, move up to 7. It's crazy, but those 3 or 4 picks really seems to make a difference. Our number 1 need is middle linebacker. I would completely disagree with that. Okay, we're making a move. Kilmer's on the move, was our center. Package him as a left guard here, and our younger center is going to take his place, only 22 compared to Kilmer, who's 28. Kilmer is an 82 overall compared to his 75, so it is a downgrade, but we're using it to move up for a player we need. It's number 29, a 4th, and then a 5th next year, and was it a 3rd the year after that? I think it's worth it. This guy's going to be a starter for us. Donovan Flowers, welcome to Tampa. Seems to be a very good player. Acceleration's only solid, which is not amazing, but he's very fast. 6'3", 21 years old, great ratings. Should be just a phenomenal pick for us here. 93 speed, 90 acceleration, great change of direction too for someone that's 6'3", 210 playing corner. It's a really, really big corner, so happy with that pick, and I think we'll just simulate to the next one, take that win. And unfortunately, Not really going to be able to upgrade much on the defensive line in this one. It was just kind of where we're picking, and that's the problem, is like we're going to be so good that it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get the super top of the draft type players. We're going to have to get steals, and hopefully Brandon Peters is one out of Louisville. Looks to be a really good athlete. I think the skills are good too. I think this is going to be a steal for us. The only thing that's bad about him is power moves, and he doesn't need to do both. 87 strength, 75 speed, 85 acceleration. That seems to be a starter right away. I don't really like what's available in this draft. I'm going to go ahead and get a 3rd round pick next year from the Bears. I'll also take their 7th round pick this year, and the CPU can just draft whoever. Fill out the rest of the roster. All right, show me like 78 overall for the corner, please. Okay, exactly 78 overall. The defensive tackles is 72. Not awful. Was hoping for 74. It's not a huge difference, but would have been nice. And then, ooh, the 3rd overall pick was an 81 overall corner. Top player in the class. We got the 2nd highest, though, which is good. And we don't have to move up to 3 to get it done. Pleasance was a 75. That's good off the edge. And Wesley, who I said was going to be very comparable, if not better, is a 74. So there has been quite a bit of turnover with this team, but it does still look very good, in my opinion. 90 overall. And corner is in a good spot. Defensive tackle is in a good spot. You know, this is a team, I've said this before, this is a team that should be able to compete to be a Super Bowl team. Is that actually going to happen? We will see. We've not made it yet. The furthest we've made it is to the NFC Championship. We'll see if that changes here in 2030. And despite the number 2 offense scoring in the league and number 4 scoring defense, we do not make the Super Bowl again, finishing at 12-5. Playoff bracket says that we made it as far as the divisional. We were a 1st round bye, and we were a 1 and done, or not even. We didn't even win a game. So I don't know what it's going to take to get this team to win a playoff game, but oh my goodness, I'd like to get there. We have 99 overalls at receiver 1, receiver 2, running back, quarterback. We can't win 1 playoff game. Flowers has superstar dev. That's pretty sweet. Patrick Queen is up to superstar dev. I'm not sure that's going to matter too much. Peters has star. Dude, I'm sick of lack of playoff success. Season recap has the Chargers beating the 49ers in the battle for California. Lamar Jackson wins NFL MVP. No Bucs anywhere. $71 million to bring back our players. Jason Autry is back, regressing, of course. Joe Tryon does not want to be here and is regressing. Peters doesn't want to be here. We don't really want him. Devin White regressing. Everybody's regressing. Antoine Winfield Jr. is 33 now and down to an 83 overall. Jamel Dean. I mean, our team, Patrick Queen, our team is about to get butchered. I don't think it's closed all. First of all, Gizario is a crazy name. I just want to say that. I don't think our window is closed all the way. I think that's crazy to say, right? We're still very talented, but our window is closing a little bit. We're not going to completely hit the reset button, obviously. We're retooling, not rebuilding. Reloading, not rebuilding. Either way you want to say it. But the defense is about to get a lot worse. We are losing a number of good players, for sure. And even the ones that stay have to be replaced. Patrick Queen, even if we keep Jamel Dean, it's going to be a challenge. But that is a challenge that we will get to here. And maybe a different group is going to result in playoff success. Brian Matias, not nearly as good as I was hoping for. We need help on the D-line. I'm going to keep saying it. The players are just not available. I mean, we can't make them appear. They're not good enough. Season recap has Terrell easily winning another MVP. Is that back-to-back? No. 2 out of the last 3, though. And Desmond Ridder wins the Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons. Not what we want to see in this particular video, as I said earlier. We're going to get one. We are going to get one. Listen, the Bucs had a ton of problems winning Super Bowls before, you know, the first amazing team of the late 90s and early 2000s. And then, of course, Tom Brady came along. So they have 2 all-time, I believe. I think they have 2. But you know what? We're going through a bit of a lull post-Brady, and we're going to find it in the 2030s. This is our decade. We'll pick up the 5th-year option on Mitch Springs. Or, I mean, he's going to be expensive either way. We might just not accept it, and since he wants to be here, re-sign him. Maybe the same thing with AJ Leonard, who now has superstar dev. Amari Lowry, we traded for. Got to keep him around. And he wants to be here, so we should be able to keep him for, 5 years pretty easily, and he is back. Danny Brooks is going to be very expensive, but he returns as well. I'm worried about him falling off a cliff a little bit. Tristan Wirfs is going to be expensive. Roman Crosby. I don't really want to do a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal. Oh, actually, yeah, I do. 3 years is perfect. Never mind, excuse me. He's going to test free agency. Why? You said you wanted to be here. That's crazy. Tristan Wirfs for 2 years is back. We are going to have to pick up the 5th-year options on these players, just because I don't really want to have to worry about losing them next year. I want them under contract for sure. The rest of these players are not particularly important. We just could save money. Maybe Michael White for like 2 years. All right, he's back. I didn't really expect him to accept that. Joe Tryon for 1 more year. Joe Tryon Schwinka is back. Roman Crosby. If we want him, we're going to have to tag him. We're going to tag him. It's ridiculously expensive, but we at least keep him around. Like, kind of an insane choice, but it's going to be okay. We're just not going to spend in free agency. We're going to do well in the draft, and we just want to really go for it this next season. That's what this is all about. Ooh, another awesome-looking receiver. Definitely not going to be in position for him. Awesome-looking running back. This is going to be one of those draft classes that's really, really stacked again. Yeah, I bet he's going to be insane. F juke move, though. That's interesting. I wonder if he's potentially, like, generational power back. I don't know for sure, but there's a possibility. We pick at number 29 overall. We're just going to simulate right there, and we'll see what gets to us. Could be in a trade down spot. It's not the worst idea to get somebody else's first-round pick, considering that we're probably going to be pretty good every time, every year. So it might just make more sense to, I don't know, get a bad team's first-round pick and be picking higher. Although Will Harris is 6'5", 339. Looks pretty well-rounded. Skip the combine. Now I'm interested. I don't know. Is he worth taking here? I don't know that I need offensive line that badly. We don't really need offensive line right now. I think I'm going to pass. Defensively, linebacker could be a need. I like... Ooh, Harbor got up to Superstar X Factor. Not really going to matter. He's like 30. But that's kind of cool for a minute. The Bears are offering us a first and a second in 2034 for this first round pick. So that is 2 years away. But we are going to accept that trade. Seems like the value is going to be too good to pass up on that. And if this linebacker is available at the end of the second round here, that's what we're going to do. There is a receiver that was a round 1 talent that just looks kind of whatever, but obviously is pretty good. But Jared Gold, I think, is going to be my pick here. Out of Auburn, could be a potential starter for us. Only 21 years old. B's pretty much across the board and is a super elite athlete with that speed. Ran 4.41 at his pro day. Should be a good player. Hidden dev, 91 speed, 91 acceleration. And gray hair already. So experience, that's going to add to our defense. What an interesting looking prospect. A catching, A press, B zone coverage, D man. Good athlete. Can you tackle? Can I move you to safety? We're going to try it. Normal dev, but could be a starting safety for us, for real. Hey, draft recap. How'd we do? Well, okay, not too bad. David Turner's a 70. We got a running back, Oscar Aguirre from Kentucky, is a 70. Backup QB. And then Jared Gold is a 72, so a developmental potential starter long-term. But David Turner, with that A zone coverage, looked a lot more like a safety to me. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Block shedding, tackle, all not bad. And he actually goes up +1 overall at safety. So that's not too bad. And there was an 82 overall. LaShawn Applewhite from Clemson. I wouldn't say generational for running backs. I really think that's... I mean, we're in the range, so I guess it's possible. Only 81 trucking, but amazing stiff arm strength. Agility's great. Speed and acceleration are great. Carrying's really high. He's definitely really good. But I don't think, like, generational or guaranteed X Factor or anything. Kevin Chambers, 77 overall right guard. I don't even think that was the guard I was going to draft when I was actually considering it. Was it Cam Brooks? No. I think it was Will Harris, who's a 75. Why is Mitch Springs not looking at me, dude? Look at me. Turn. Look at me. I don't know why he's turning to the side. Yeah, this was definitely a really good trade for us. I'm trying to upgrade Blockshed whenever I can. Really nice. Even if we're not able to retain him, which I think we're going to be able to. Still going to be really good and really helpful for, you know, the next season or so. And let's simulate to those playoffs. See what we can do. 97 offense, 88 defense. You guys have seen the team. Now we need to see the results. Boom. 13-4. No wild card because we have a first round bye. Which, I mean, finally. Good to see that. And I would like to see some playoff wins as well, especially against the 8-9 Seahawks. Although they're an 89 overall. So they're a very talented team. My controller is not disconnected, by the way. So I don't really know what you want me to do. Look at Terrell Easley. This might be another MVP. 4,700 passing yards, 44 touchdowns, just 5 picks. Rushing, Jason Autry was really good. 18 touchdowns on the ground. Over 5 per carry, 1,375 rushing yards. Receiving, Kalen Carroll was amazing. 17 touchdowns. Leslie Campbell was also amazing. These are great seasons. A.J. Leonard put up a very good tight end season as well. He is 100% worth the draft pick now. I mean, just 25 years old, going to be a 90 overall in the very near future. And then we had 3 100-plus tacklers. One being the corner, Donovan Flowers, very interesting. 19 TFLs for Mitch Springs, led the way. And then 10 sacks for Joe Tryon and Brandon Peters. That's interesting. 7.5 for Springs, 4.5 for Kalijah Cansey. We need our defensive line to do a bit more. You know, I'm hesitant to change the defensive playbook because they're producing so well. Although 19th in yards is not my favorite. I feel like the defense overall is at least keeping us in games. And the Giants' defense was so much better than everybody else in terms of yards, but did allow a decent amount of points, I guess. Not like a ton, but not, you know, the most by a long shot or anything. Our defense was 17th. In the offseason, we might hire a new defensive coordinator, change the defensive playbook, and maybe that will result in more success. Not going to do that now, though. We're in the playoffs. See if we can beat Seattle. Got to win 3 games. We didn't win 1. Okay. 2032 season recap. Terrell Easley did win MVP again, but we just still can't win the big one. And Sam Howell wins the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. That is very interesting. Jamar Chase still winning Offensive Player of the Year. He's got to be pretty old at this point. It's 2032. He's a 10-plus NFL vet easily. Gonna pick up the 5th-year option on Donovan Flowers. Might be tough to keep him in Tampa. Doesn't really seem to want to be here. Sean Rutland. Has he had Superstar Dev? I don't think so. Did he get it? He won Offensive Lineman of the Year. So that's absolutely somebody we want to keep around. And he's 25 years old. This is, like, I would do a 7-year commitment easily. And that's exactly what we do. We commit to a huge contract for him. Joe Hooker in there, almost traded. Kalijah Cansey's regressing, but probably like to keep him for another year. Not going to be able to afford to extend Roman Crosby because they want to pay him as an edge rusher, which is not what he is. So it's very annoying. You know what? Financially, long term, it would probably make sense to run a 3-4 defense so that when you actually pay your edge players, they're actually pass rushers, right? Whereas we're paying off-ball linebackers like edge rushers, and that's stupid. Kalijah Cansey, can we bring you back? We actually probably can't even afford to. It's going to be really, really close. And it's so close, in fact, I'm going to restructure something to see if we can do it more easily. And Tryon's going to walk. Kenny Caldwell, that's fine. Terrell Easley, by the way, going into the final year of his deal. So that number's probably going to go back up from 36.2. So we got to be a little bit careful in this next stretch. Jason Autry's down to a 93. He's got a couple years left maybe. But running back is a position we at least need to think about a little bit. We've got a lot of expiring contracts in the next year or two. So we need to be very careful with our money. It might actually make sense to let Kalijah Cansey walk. But because Terrell Easley's in the final year of his deal, we can't restructure anything. That was going to be an area where I would save money. What else can we do? Obviously not going to cut Terrell Easley. Can't do anything with Wirfs or Autry. We could add more money to the end of Kalen Carroll's contract, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll restructure that. It's not very much money at the end, $2.5 million per year on those back 2 years. But we free up money now, and now we're going to be able to re-sign Kalijah Cansey and then roll over the rest. I don't think I'm going to do anything in free agency. 1 year extension for Cansey. He is back, and we're going to save the rest. It's not a ton of money to save, but we're going to save it. Okay, we don't have a first-round pick in this year's draft. We definitely traded it at some point. Question's going to be, do I want to trade up for anybody? And the answer is probably not, but maybe. Because now would be the time to at least consider trading some of our older players for a pick or two. It's definitely a possibility, definitely considering it. I'm even considering drafting a QB. Like, if this Arkansas quarterback, Alan McMillan's available, I might pull the trigger. Ooh, Andrew Andrews from the U. I honestly think it is a dumber name than John Johnson. I think it is. There goes Alan McMillan. We're just going to simulate to our pick. Didn't really make sense to trade up all this way. You know, Larry Bates is an interesting player. A, block shed, play rec, B, power moves, tackle. Not a good athlete, but is very strong. Potential defensive tackle at 6'3", 286. So that's what we're going to draft here at the end of round 2. Only normal dev, but that's going to be a defensive tackle. Really interesting linebacker here. Run stopper type with A tackle, B zone coverage. Very good athletically. Does have hidden dev. Yeah, could be something there. 84 speed, 90 acceleration. Not so bad. Britton Terry's a 73, and the will be defensive tackle is a 73 as well. Might go up at defensive tackle. He's a run stopper type. Power moves is in the low 70s. Very strong. This is just somebody that's supposed to get in the way. But on that note, though, as he jumps up to 76 overall at defensive tackle, on that note, though, he doesn't weigh that much. But power moves at 70 isn't terrible for a defensive tackle. Block shedding's really high. Yeah, this corner I wanted, who went at number 7 overall, is an 82. Looks really good. However, the most impressive player in the class is Shaquem Gibson from Auburn. He looks very good. 89 tackle already. And I don't know that I've seen an 80 overall middle linebacker this year. Or ever. Really is not a position you see rated very highly in Madden. He does have superstar X factor as well. I would say, based on the overalls I've seen from middle linebackers, that's as close to a generational linebacker as you're going to find. For an off-ball player, I have not seen an 80 overall middle linebacker in, I don't think, any draft that I've done. Period. Playoff time, we went 15-2. I didn't change the defense, but we are now the number 7 defense points per game. So sometimes you just got to stick with it. What a game for Danny Brooks. But I think we might see another MVP from Terrell Easley. Has led the league in both yards and touchdowns passing. Rushing, Jason Autry over 6 per carry with 20 touchdowns, 95.5 yards per game. Over 1,600 yards rushing. He's an all-time great running back already. As if that wasn't obvious. If you look at his all-time numbers here, I mean, he's consistently, at worst, 1,100 rushing yards per year and has been around 15 touchdowns every year of his career. Like, okay, 3 years of 9, but 16, 13, 14, 16, and then 18 and 20 the last 2 years. He is on another level. And the receivers are great too. Leslie Campbell led the team in yards this year. Catches and touchdowns went to the tight end A.J. Leonard. And then Michael White actually outperformed Kalen Carroll. Might have been in the slot. I think that is a possibility. Danny Brooks with plenty of tackles. 21 for loss for Brandon Peters, who also had 7 sacks. 9.5 from Mitch Springs, led the way. 9 for Kalijah Cansey. 8 from Ed Coakley. 7 from Peters. And this is the update on the team, by the way. We have a 99 overall offense. Leonard is even into the 90s. We have, with morale, we're going to count 99s as Kalen Carroll is true 99. Easley's only a 98, apparently, but he's a 99. Campbell's a 99. Autry's playing up to a 99. Leslie Campbell is 99 everything. It's insane how good these players are. And then defensively, we're not bad either. Now, linebacker could be better. I don't know why Gold wouldn't be starting. That makes no sense to me. Why would he not be starting? Did they just not have our best team in there? Okay, we're going to move Ed Coakley down to defensive end. We're going to move him down to left end because Mitch Springs is actually a right end with the scheme fit. So he's going to play left end. And then we're going to get Gold to a star dev and then Terry out there. Yeah, this is a really good looking team, obviously. All right, now the team looks even better than it just did. Arbor, Superstar X Factor, as we know. The corners look really solid. Morale is obviously playing a big factor in our team overall, though. What is our defense? 93. We might want to sign a kicker and a punter in the offseason, too. I'm not sure how good our current kicker and punter are. I should. It's my team, but I need to focus on that because that could be a big reason why we can't finish the deal in these single games. All right, we have made the NFC Championship again. We beat the Eagles. Terrell Easley is going to go back up to a true 99 overall. The question becomes, can we finally make a Super Bowl, let alone win it? Can we finally even make one? Bucs, Lions, they're an 86 overall. Do not let us lose to the Lions, please. Dear sweet Lord, baby Jesus, please put us into the Super Bowl, and they have. He has. He gets us. You guys seen those commercials? Oh, so good. Oh, I forgot. I can't alienate any of my audience. Mitch Springs is going to be expensive. What are his motivations? Oh, no, he does want to be here. Wants to be in a warm weather state. That's perfect. Okay. We need to get up to edge threat. We're close, just not quite there. Any dev trait upgrades? Not that I can tell on offense. What about defense? Porter is up to superstar. That's nice. We have this random probable star dev here. Terry probably has star dev too. Kind of amazing that it's not revealed by Super Bowl week for him. I guess he just didn't play a whole ton during the season, but you'd think at the Super Bowl it'd be revealed when every other dev trait upgrade's happening, but didn't end up happening. That's fine. But Super Bowl, Bucs Bills. Can we finally win one? 10 years to even make a Super Bowl. Let's see if we can get it done. And we are playing a home game. This is in Tampa. You know what the funny thing is with how commercialized the Super Bowl has become? For my entire lifetime, really. Is there probably wouldn't even be a noticeable, like, Tampa Bay Buccaneers majority in the stands. Because there probably wouldn't be. Because it's so many fans of not even any of the teams that are playing in the Super Bowl. And then it's so expensive to even go. There are obviously so many people, but there are so many companies as well. I don't know. I think it honestly would be about the same as it always is. But to win a Super Bowl, our first Super Bowl here in this video, in Tampa, at Raymond James Stadium. What's the corner? What is it on? Dale Mabry, I think, and I can't remember. It's been a while since I've lived in Tampa. 7, 8 years. Wow, time flies. That's crazy. But we finally win the big one. Super Bowl here in 2033. I told you guys, the 2030s will be ours. Terrell Easley's winning MVP every year, but it's going to be expensive to keep him in town. Another MVP. Won Super Bowl MVP as well. And again, it's going to be really expensive, but hopefully because some of these contracts are expiring, we're going to have a ton of money. We have $126 million in available salary cap. The question becomes how much of that is about to completely go away. Will we even have enough money to sign the players they need to sign? Easily is going to be $50 million. I'm just going to mark that down. $50 million to keep our quarterback. Mitch Springs is in here. Terrell Easley also doesn't want to be a Buck. Why? What's your deal? You've won multiple MVPs here. You've won a Super Bowl now. It's a scheme fit of the offense? Okay, dude. I'm changing that. I'm changing that right now. That's cheating. All right. Mark me down as a cheater. We're making it happen. A 5-year extension for Terrell Easley. It's so much money, but at the same time, he's absolutely worth it. I don't know how much he's going to regress, but I think maybe even a 6-year deal could be good. And I'll up the money to make sure he signs. Oh, that bonus is completely going the wrong way. All right, let me change this. And Terrell Easley is back. And now, just like that, we only have 77 mil left. I mean, that's a lot of money, but I mean, obviously some of these players are ridiculously expensive. Like a 6-year extension for Mitch Springs. I would actually even do 7. He's 26 years old. He's going to keep developing. Yeah, let's do 7. And Mitch Springs is back. That was a big one. AJ Leonard for 5, I would do. Might even be able to take down the money a little bit. And AJ Leonard is back. You're really playing a dangerous game, though, when you do that. Pick up the 5th year on Ed Coakley. Brandon Peters, we want back. I would do probably 4 years. And he's going to test free agency. I don't really want to see that. Jason Autry, what's your deal? We could get a higher percentage if we go to a different scheme fit on offense. So we'll do that. And we got to change it back anyway. What should we do? 3-year deal for Jason Autry? He's going to regress in front of our very eyes. But you know what? For 3 years, he still should be a solid option for us. And he's one of the best running backs ever at this point. Zach Porter for 2 years. He is back. We are running out of money. We're down to 15 mil. Michael White's going to walk. Elijah Cansey's going to have to go. I mean, Tristan Wirfs, he's going to eat into the rest of this. We can't even do it. Tristan Wirfs is going to be gone unless I franchise tag him. It's going to be the only way. But probably not worth it. Yeah, we're going to have to save our money. I'd like for him to stay here. We just can't pay him 25 mil. I just can't do it. All right, Kerry Ellis is a scheme fit. He's going to replace Tristan Wirfs. Extremely cheap. And, I mean, he's going to be a buck for a long time. And I want Brandon Peters back. It's going to be a little bit of a battle to get him. But he's a good player. And we need defensive tackle very, very badly. It's going to be a battle, but hopefully it's a battle we end up winning. Down to 7 mil in cap hit. And all of these players combined are still cheaper than just Tristan Wirfs. So, Tristan Wirfs, I'm sorry, but it had to be done. And we got Brandon Peters back. We brought in Kerry Ellis. And now we just need a kicker and a punter to sign. And they should, because they are kickers and punters. What are you doing? And we got both Jake Moody and James Ortiz. Having a 93 overall kicker, I think, is going to be a difference maker. I feel like we're going to be really, really good this year. We're not going to miss any kicks. Everything just goes straight in. NFL draft time. We should have 2 first-round picks in this one. Pick number 22, courtesy of the Chicago Bears. Seems like we have the wrong NFC North team. Packers picking at number 1. And I, of course, forgot to check the mock draft. It is so frustrating you cannot check it in the actual draft. And wow, James Bolo looks pretty sweet. Is there any way we can make a push for that? James Bolo goes at number 2 overall. Would have been a lot to move up. We're just going to hold on here. Rams are offering us, for number 22, a first-round pick next year, a second-round pick next year, and a second-round pick the year after that. I don't think we're going to do better than that. We drafted defensive tackle here, I think. Gabe Thompson from the U, 6'6", 311, with pretty good athleticism, elite acceleration, and strength is a great combo. A tackle, B finesse moves, B hit power, B power moves, B awareness. Block shedding probably pretty good. 94 strength, 70 speed, 86 acceleration. That's going to be a stud. Not going to say Warren Sapp, but that right there is Warren Sapp. Abdul Pickens from A&M. Might be the pick here. Skip the combine. I mean, I'm already in. All the way in. Abdul Pickens, hidden dev. A little slow. Skip the combine for a reason, turns out. But could be good. Make a trade with the Raiders, too. Get a second-round pick a couple years from now. and also pick up a 6th. Making this trade to get a 2nd round pick in 2036. It's just a little bit of investing in the future. And it went well. Gabe Thompson's a 75, and Abdul Pickens is also a 75. So 2 very good draft picks for us, and we didn't even pick at the very, very top. Although if we had, it would have went well. James Bolo was an 81 overall. Kevin Logan, also an 81 overall. So the Falcons are going to be set at QB. 98 throw power. Okay, yeah, all right. Strong draft class, at least up at the very top. Kind of gets a little bit worse in the middle, but we had a near top 10 player in Gabe Thompson and also the corner Abdul something or other. This is going to be the team for this next season. I'm going to start Gabe Thompson. I think that's a good call. It's actually our starting rush defensive tackle as well. Abdul Pickens could play a little bit. Don't know that we're going to make him CB3. Offense looks still very good, but you're starting to see some regression across the board a little bit here. So we got to just try to take advantage of this team as long as we can, because this core, it's probably coming up to about the end of the line. Wow, only 10-7 at the midseason mark. Our defense took a huge step back. I mean, just a massive step back. Terrell easily is going to win another MVP. 34 touchdowns, just 1 interception. What a season. And rushing, Jason Autry, 18 touchdowns. Our backup running back got plenty of touchdowns as well. And our defense just wasn't quite as good as I would have wanted it to be. AJ Leonard is putting up insane numbers. Kalen Carroll and Leslie Campbell had the exact same amount of receiving yards to the yard, 1,129. And just those 3 were the guys. Greg Johnson played. Tackles for loss, 25 from Ed Coakley, 21 from Gabe Thompson as a rookie. Only 2 sacks, but he definitely was amazing. Ed Coakley, Ed sacks. It might be time for a defensive change. It's clearly just not nearly as good as our offense is. Need our defense to play better. We have good players, for sure. We're an 89 overall defense, and we're just not playing like it. Like, we're still making the playoffs, but we shouldn't just be making the playoffs. We should be the best team in the league, without question, every year, no matter what. Oh, okay. Roman Lamb. First of all, what a name. Second of all, what am I even looking at? Looks like a mad scientist sewed 2 people together. I don't like it. Well, we just keep on winning. It's going to be Bucs, Cardinals. I don't know. I think I would hate to be upset by them. They're an 87 overall. Could be good enough to beat us, to be honest. And it was. Going to be Jags, Cardinals. We need a defensive playbook change. That is obvious to me. Terrell Easley with another MVP. Do we consider a move to a 3-4? Could happen. Could happen. $36 million in available salary cap. Donovan Flowers, we knew that was going to happen. Greg Johnson, we can't. Jonathan Bayless, I'd like to bring back. Jaden Peralta is going to be a pass. Hassan Harbour is going to be a pass. Brett Wall, we got to bring back. I don't know that we're going to have enough money for this. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I need Donovan Flowers, and he's going to be so expensive. The problem is he's so good. Can I afford to pay a corner upwards of 20 mil per year? We're going to try, but this is going to be probably a bad idea. It's just, it might be a franchise tag situation. That's a really, really tough spot. Because so talented, but really just doesn't want to be here. Wants to be close to Nebraska. No, you don't. What is there to do in Nebraska? Go watch the Cornhuskers play? You don't want to live in Nebraska. Overpaid Brett Wall to get him back for a couple years. We are going to franchise tag Donovan Flowers. And it's probably going to be a tag and trade. The sad reality is that we are not going to be able to re-sign him ever. He just does not want to be here. So, even though he's a superstar corner, 26 years old, it's just not, it's not something we can build our team around. And that sucks, but gotta trade him. And now is the time. Or he's our best corner by a mile. Abdul Pickens, by the way, does have superstar dev. That could be a game changer. He is 23. Donovan Flowers is just 3 years older and a 94 overall. This sucks. Don't want to have to trade him, but it's just the smartest thing. Maybe we'll do that during the draft. We do have a little bit of money now that the contracts have changed over here, but I don't think there's going to be anybody worth signing. Enrique Miller could be interesting. Not very expensive. What are you good at, though, is the thing. JSN is in here, 33 years old. Kind of funny to look at. He's a pass coverage player. That's interesting. We're probably going to pass. I think saving the money is going to be more important. Porter's got superstar dev. Pickens has superstar dev. Do need a safety. Thompson either got superstar dev, which I think is probably likely considering how good he was. Oh, no, he had it. Okay. It's a really nice get. And he's going to want to be here because we have a franchise quarterback. So that's a pretty nice fit for us. So Gabe Thompson's good. Do we move to a 3-4 defense? Let's think about this. Springs could stay at defensive end. Oakley back to outside linebacker. Do we have another pass rusher? Not yet. Lamb has superstar dev, though. That's interesting. It's a nice player to develop. Awareness is really low. 99 hit power. Okay. That's the second time I've seen this 99 hit power build. They're usually pretty low overall, interestingly enough. I wonder if you could find any of them as undrafted rookie free agents. That might be an interesting thing to look out for. Oakley's a beast. I think we stay in the 4-3, just go to a different book. Maybe Buffalo. Ooh, interesting. Did not really look at this guy like a top 5 talent, but true top 5 talent at number 34 in the draft. Okay. I'm in. Let's pick at number 25 overall. Do we want to move up? I think James White, this tackle, actually is going to be very, very good. Agile type, elite athlete. Trading up for a tackle in this case actually could make sense for us. Do I want to do that? Nope, he goes at number 1 overall. Was never moving up to number 1. Do have 2 first-round picks, but the problem is every first-round pick we trade for is from a team that's too good, and the pick ends up not being super valuable. I want one at the top of the draft. Can I trade Flowers and a first to get something ridiculous? Okay, this is the move. Trading Donovan Flowers and David Turner, who's my starting free safety right now in the final year of his deal. This is a no-brainer. For Gerald Mayo, who's in one of these recent draft classes, maybe even the last one or 2 ones ago, he's only 24 years old with a superstar X factor, and we get a second-round pick next year. That might be an actual really good trade for us. I thought I was going to have to take, a bit of a step down, but Mayo's going to be a 94 overall in 2 years, which is exactly what that last corner was. He's under contract for the next 2 years. That's a phenomenal trade for us. Now, we do need a starting free safety as we develop Demarius Mobley. Abdul Pickens could maybe move back there. I think he might have been zone-oriented. You have 3 good corners otherwise, which is exactly where you want to be. We do need a middle linebacker, though. Roman Lamb's going to develop, but we could use, someone actually very good right now. Ooh, Kalen Carroll's down to a 93. Receiver's going to be a need pretty soon. And I think we're going to be able to get one via trade. Quarterback, not a need, but running back's going to be a need soon. What if I traded Bates in a second? What would that get me? Sauce Gardner's with the Bears at 35 years old. Ooh. A 25-year-old, 86 overall superstar X-Factor linebacker. That might not be a bad idea. This receiver could be good too. 86 overall, just 24. A 22-year-old superstar defensive tackle also wouldn't be the worst idea. Is that worth my first-round pick, though? That's tough to find those. I don't know. He's only 22. That's tough. Trayvon Richard does have the max dev trait. I don't know. This is really tough for me. 4 years left on his deal, though. So he's under contract for a decent bit. I think we're going to make this trade happen. And we now have Trayvon Richard. I don't know what he's good at. I could have checked. But I know he's going to fit in somewhere. He's a pass coverage type. That works for us right now. Because guess what? We need a middle linebacker. Oh, his block shedding is atrocious. Oh my goodness. But he's going to start at middle linebacker for us. And now we have a ball-hawking middle linebacker. And then, unfortunately, he's been so great for us. But that leaves Danny Brooks as someone that could be traded. He's still so good. That's an 81 overall player with 91 speed, 87 block shed. Tackling, I guess, isn't crazy high. You know what? Let's get a superstar development receiver. He's only 23, only a 73 overall. But that's a really nice receiver 3 for us. Superstar dev means he's going to shoot up an overall quickly. That corner's gone. That's tough, but we don't really need him at the moment. I know, how do we turn down a top 5 talent? Good question. We were trading actually 2 2s, a 3 this year, and a 4 for Omari Bibbs from the Lions. Superstar dev running back. Only 22, so still kept our first round pick and trade that for something. And now we have an heir apparent to the running back that I kind of coined as Adrian Peterson 2.0, Jason Autry. We have 4 second round picks next year. Probably don't need all of those. We'll trade one of these. And that's a 24-year-old superstar dev strong safety. And we can just get an instant starter. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Dimitri Cormier. What a name. Welcome to Tampa. And through a bunch of trades, our team just went from great to definitely the best in the league again, without question. We're only a 90 overall, but I don't think that's true. I disagree. Now, our draft was just, filling out backups on the team. Let's see how good the player that we missed out on was. I just thought the draft wasn't going to be that great. And Northrup is a 77, went at pick number 27. That's a good player, but it's nothing where I'm like, oh my god, and he has normal dev. Yeah, I'm cool with that, to be honest. Not an amazing draft class. Some good players, no question, but I'm happy with how that went for us. I think we got way better than the draft could have ever done for us. And when you trade for players, especially those under contract for a long time, you can basically just get the other teams to pay a majority of their contract. So you're essentially getting players who are really, really good for super cheap. And I don't know if this guy can ever be our main running back, now looking at his attributes, but he's going to be a perfect combination with Jason Autry for the rest of his contract. He is not a receiving back, and Omari Bibbs really is. So that's actually just a fantastic fit. Yeah, I mean, we made such great moves. All right, let's win a Super Bowl. You guys know the team at this point. Pickens going to be CB3 for us. Cormier in the slot? No, I don't want that. I want Pickens to play in the slot. Cormier at sub linebacker? I don't want that either. Just play safety, dude. You don't have to be both slot corner and sub linebacker. Play safety, please. Bibbs also doesn't have to be a slot receiver. Can anyone actually play their position, please? Is that okay? 14-3, and our defense was number 3 in the league. The change to Buffalo playbook was extremely worthwhile, and Terrell easily had one of his best seasons ever. 4,900 yards, 37 touchdowns to 5 picks. Jason Autry clearly losing a step, seeing that yards per carry go down, but still 15 touchdowns, 1,100 yards. Like to see those numbers. And then 4 1,000-yard receivers, including Troy Parker, who we just traded for. Another Miami guy. He's already up to a 76 overall. Trade looking great, and I'm going to be upgrading a lot of slot when I can. Make him a more complete player, because right now he cannot run a short route to save his life. He's got 99 speed, though. I do like that. Defensively, Trayvon Richard had 111 tackles, only 1 interception. I thought that'd be higher considering his amazing coverage. And then Mitch Springs, 11.5 sacks, 10 for Ed Coakley, 8 for Brandon Peters. Who was the other defensive tackle? I mean, this guy, Dante McMath, doesn't even get on the field. Had 5 tackles the entire season, but had more sacks than half of my team, or more. Not really many interceptions, but I don't care. Our defense was ranked 3rd. That's all I care about. I want to win more Super Bowls, and we're in line to do that. I'll tell you, though, as good as this team is, man, does it feel like we're cooking and fixing for a first-round exit. I don't want it to happen, but it just feels like I'm too high and mighty right now. +1 speed, he didn't need it. Oh, no, he did actually. He's only got 81 now. I thought he had like 91. That was somebody else. But I don't want to lose this game to the Eagles. They're an 87 overall. They're not bad. But, oh, we won, thankfully. I'm telling you, that was prime upset range. We need one more win. Can we beat the Commies and punch our ticket to the Super Bowl? We're going to find out here in a moment. One more win, and we're looking for Super Bowl number 2 of the video. And that is exactly what we got. Going to take on the 11-6 Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be an interesting one. The Chiefs, I don't know if you heard about this, they're pretty good. Now, I don't know that Patrick Mahomes is still playing for them, but they've got great playbooks. They're very high overall. They're going to be a challenging team to beat. That's for sure. We really can't even get any dev trade upgrades on offense. We already have too many superstar X factors, but defensively, Mayo had X factor. I don't think anyone's changed one way or another. Patrick Mahomes is still their quarterback, by the way. Patrick Mahomes is still playing here as we approach 2040. We're not quite there yet. I think we're in, what, 2030? We might only be in 2035, actually. We're approaching 2040, and we're also approaching 3,000, but it's a long way away. Chiefs have the lead right now, 16-7, really not doing a whole lot of scoring here. And we're down by a couple of the scores, but we've suddenly, out of nowhere, taken the lead. What happened? 13-yard touchdown. We got an interception by Gerald Mayo. Really, really quick scores, and suddenly we have the lead. The Chiefs answer in an instant. We punt the football away. The Chiefs punt it right back. And we need to make something happen on offense. We're down by a touchdown. Gonna jump on here with Terrell Easley. We have our stud receivers. Gotta make something happen. You know what? Bad stat line from Terrell Easley, by the way. Here's what I'm thinking. I think we're going to try and chew this clock down. Obviously, that changes if we don't convert here. But I think we're going to chew this clock down and consider a 2-point conversion. There's Campbell. Huge catch. There's Leonard. Let's go. Dude, he's so tall. I think he's 6'6", and that doesn't even, you know, doesn't even compare to our 6'8" tight end that we had for a little bit. What was his name? Joe Mama? I honestly cannot remember. It was something funny. Get it back to the tight end, Leonard! Nice catch. Shades of Travis Kelce. Now, I think we're in Kansas City offense, too. So, I mean, that is something Travis Kelce would do. And we're moving the ball probably a little bit too quickly as we're going to take off with our quarterback there easily. Or easily, but not easily. Oh, Campbell. Chose not to go into the end zone there, but that was easily a touchdown. Nice move. And why would Omari Bibbs come in this spot? I don't know. Again, we're really gonna go for it. 2-point conversion to win a Super Bowl. I mean, the balls don't really get any bigger than that. If you were to go for 2 just cause in the Super Bowl, I mean, that's either as confident or not confident as a team can get. That either means we're going to run something and you can't stop us, or we don't think we can hang with you in overtime. But 2 teams in the Super Bowl, unlikely to have that mentality. Oh my goodness, coach wants us to go for 2. Coach smells weakness. We're bringing out Autry. Oh, they have so many superstars on the defensive line. We're going to trust it. Autry up the middle. Power scooped into the end zone. 2 points. Oh my goodness. That was really, really close. But we punch it in with Jason Autry. Potentially win a Super Bowl just 7 seconds away from number 2. Number 4 in the Bucs history. And that was way too much of a stop and then a start again. But doesn't matter. We got it done. And unless they return a kick on us, it's over. And it is over. The Bucs have won another one, 28-27. And coach wanted us to go for 2. I respect it. I was already going to, but I respect it. Season recap has another Terrell Easley MVP. He's on a roll right now. He's going to win it pretty much every year. Gerald Mayo is going to be a free agent. No, he's not. Actually, we had his 5th-year option, so we're going to pick that up. Ed Coakley still does not want to be here. Why is that? Do you want to go back home to Nebraska? Is this loser? I think it might be. No disrespect if you're from Nebraska, but Obviously, you know, oh, he wants to be close to Maine. You want to go back to Maine? Oh my God, these losers, dude. No, you know what? Maine's all right. It's beautiful falls if you're into that. It doesn't even matter, dude. You're gonna be playing football in the fall. Why is that a motivation for you? Just stop being stupid. But he's gonna be back. A little bit of an overpay, but we keep him, and I think that was most important. Zach Porter, wow, he's gonna be gone. He's regressed. Vince Forbes gonna be gone. Brennan Kelly, maybe. I just can't pay Jared Gold. Because again, this is another off-ball linebacker that we have to pay like an edge rusher, and I just can't do it. Brennan Kelly, though, 3-year contract to stay at right tackle. He is back, but man, Jared Gold is kind of a tough loss here. Zach Porter's a good player too, but yeah, he's not good enough to where we absolutely have to keep him. Maybe a 1-year deal and then a trade. He does have superstar dev, or he's just going to be good for us. He's actually not that expensive. All right, Zach Porter's back. Sucks about Jared Gold, but nothing I can really do about it. Look at Josh Allen, 40-year-old Josh Allen in free agency. Top guy is Jared Gold. This is one of the weakest free agent classes I've ever seen, but he just doesn't want to be here, and he is so expensive. I don't know how they haven't figured out that, oh man, off-ball linebackers probably shouldn't be making $20 million a year if they're like not even that good. He's an 84, like not a 95 overall, where like maybe you're like, okay, let's pay him a huge contract. He's like fine, and you're gonna pay him like one of the best in the entire league. It's dumb. Delvin Dobbs from Oregon State, 5'10", 191 with just A's across the board, elite speed. He is as close as we've seen to a generational corner in this draft, and I will be drafting him. Whatever it takes, we will move up. That's our guy. And oh my goodness, a top 5 corner down the board too. Only C man coverage, but A zone. Do you want to play safety? Could be worth drafting, but we just probably won't be able to get in position for him. That corner at the top, and there are good corners in this class, but it's clear and obvious that that guy at the very top is the guy if you're going to be drafting a corner. Saints had the number 1 pick. We have the number 32 pick. They go with a quarterback, Joe White, out of South Carolina, and this might be our spot. We're going to trade up for a corner, and I think we do have a lot of second-round picks, if I remember correctly. 3 of them still. It's going to be tough to move up, but we're going to get it done. Zach Porter, a first-round pick this year, 3 seconds and a 7th, gets us number 2 overall, but it will be very worth it when we land a superstar X-Factor generational corner at number 2. Delvin Dobbs from Oregon State. Only 5'10", but doesn't matter. Elite speed. A's everywhere, except for play rec. But that's going to get better. He's 23 years old, but he's a freak. 97 speed. He's going to be so good. Pretty good defensive tackle prospect. Ken Reynolds, A finesse moves, A play rec. I'm in. Hidden dev. Not bad value in what, the back end of the 3rd round? Yeah, I mean, that's the last pick of day 2. Pretty good. 81 overall. I was hoping for a bit higher, but that is still very, very good. Yeah, Delvin Dobbs, 81 man, 82 zone, playing up to an 84. I would not say generational. It might not be an X-Factor player, but it's still very, very good, obviously. He's the same overall as the corner I just traded away, plus 23 years old compared to 33 years old. No! We just had a huge retirement. Kalen is gone. Oh, that's devastating. But Caitlin Carroll does get into the Hall of Fame, so good for him. Offense still looks great. We need another receiver. Parker's not ready yet. We need another one. Lamb is going to kick out to play some linebacker for us. He's going to start finally. D-line still looks great. Corner, great. Don't even worry about it. Pickens to CB3. Superstar is great too, and Dobbs probably has star. I traded up everything for an 81 overall star corner. 75 overall scheme fit. That's pretty good. Another 14-3 season. Love to see that. Terrell Easley's going to win MVP again. I mean, 4,400 yards, 42 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. He's been a 99 his entire career. He went to Texas, QBU. Dude, Chris Sims, Vince Young. I mean, Major Applewhite, he might have had an NFL tryout. Vince Young, did I mention Vince Young? What about Colt McCoy? What about Quinn Ewers? What about Arch Manning? Dude, Malik Murphy? So much talent. Charles White. I think that's QB4 on Texas right now. He doesn't play. He wears a red jersey, headset, and a, maybe not a headset, clipboard on the sideline type of deal. Jason Autry's still rocking. 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns receiving. Leslie Campbell took over. 1,600 yards, 19 touchdowns. AJ Leonard was still great. He's inching towards 90 or 99 overall. We just don't really have that big wide receiver 3 at the moment. Or 2. Troy Parker's working on it. He's really only ever going to be a deep threat, is the thing. So we'll work on getting another receiver in there. Defense was pretty solid. 6 picks for Gerald Mayo. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. 95 man-to-man. Zone coverage could be better, but this guy's a beast. Saints were only an 84 overall. They stood no chance. But the 86 overall Cardinals, I mean, we've seen this story before. Yep, Cardinals beat us. Stop doing that, please. Terrell Easley wins MVP again. Leslie Campbell, Offensive Player of the Year, our stud receiver. Here is the issue. He's only going to be around for a little while longer. We had, like, the benefit of 2 unbelievable, like, generational receivers, and they're gone now. Or we still have one. We still have Leslie Campbell, but that duo has been broken up by the Hall of Fame. Yeah, we need another receiver really badly. Autry's down to an 86 overall. Is playing up, of course, but how long is that going to last? And then defensively, Coakley's up to Superstar X Factor. Dobbs does have Superstar X Factor. So clearly, he was the right draft pick now. Yeah, that was the right call. Now we have 3 awesome corners. Linebacker's good enough. The defensive line is good enough. We're going to need a better defensive tackle at some point. Reynolds, I'm going to trade. Only 1 year into his deal. Is he the one I want to trade? Or do I just go, hey, let's trade Brandon Peters? He's only 29. I mean, he's going to regress. We can even keep him. I don't know what to do. No idea. We're going to figure something out. Okay, so Dimitri Cormier's got to be back. We're going to pick up the 5th year on Omari Bibbs. And then probably trade him, maybe. Pick up the 5th year option on Gabe Thompson, of course. Dimitri Cormier is priority number 1 right now. 26 years old. Yeah, I would do a 5-year deal. And he's back. Troy Parker for 3 years is good. Could potentially trade him as well. It's a deep threat, 99 speed. Just not all that good at anything else. These outside linebackers are just killing me. We keep getting into this spot where, like, I'm not going to pay them $15 million a year on a long-term deal. We're going to bring him back for 1 year, $14 million, which I recognize is crazy. But here's the thing. We're going to move to a 3-4. So our outside linebackers are actually rush players. And then we're only going to have 2 inside linebackers, which is going to be good. Leslie Campbell cannot be signed. He wants money that I just don't have. Jason Autry. Oh, man. It stings to lose these players. I mean, some of these players are the heart and soul of the team over the past decade. But, I mean, the band's splitting up. That's just, unfortunately, what it's come down to. Mari Lowry doesn't want to be here. Demarius Mobley, I would like to get. Steve Burton, not really a point. And Mobley's 100% a take. He's definitely good. Not that expensive. 5-year deal. Good depth at the worst. And who do we tag and trade? It's going to be Leslie Campbell, probably. And then restructure to be able to trade him. Are we going to tag Camp 40 mil? Oh my goodness. That seems insane. He's really good, though, for 1 more year. We are completely handcuffed. And we just jumped to 9.3 in available salary cap. 9.3 million, that is, although could be $9.3. The Easley contract is so huge. Oh, and it jumps up a tremendous amount in 2038. Oh my God. That is going to be really rough. Can we restructure this? We can't this year, and maybe not even next year either. This is one of the toughest contracts I've seen. This one is rough. Another really good looking corner, DeAndre Tolliver from South Carolina. Also elite speed. He looks like the player we just drafted. Really, really does. Zone coverage just a bit worse. Not really a big need for us though, so gonna avoid that. Okay, we're gonna trade Saquon Vick. That's a strong NFL name. We're gonna trade Brett Wall, 34 years old, 83 overall, for a bit of a downgrade right now, but he's 23. Nate Pleasant should be a pleasant addition to our team. Could not resist that one. And I think we are gonna have to trade Leslie Campbell. We're paying him, just so much money, and we can get talent back for him. And I'd prefer someone that's below 26 years old, but is still good. Could be tough. Could be tough. Don't really want a center. Okay, we're going to just do a straight up trade. Leslie Campbell for a middle linebacker. But it's the generational type linebacker I talked about when he was actually drafted. He is 26 years old, 92 overall, 93 overall. And not the fastest, but boy, did he tackle good. Yeah, Britton Terry's going to get traded. We're going to move to a 4-3. I think we need a big-time pass rusher. We still need a big-time receiver. I have nothing at receiver now, obviously. But linebacker's good. We have 2 inside linebackers. That's fine. We're going to have Springs move back to outside linebacker. Ed Coakley move back to outside linebacker. Unless we get another really good edge rusher. In which case, I'm just going to leave him at defensive end. Probably move Brandon Peters to the other end spot. And then we have Lamb just for good depth. Corner is going to be fine. Could use a safety, but I'm not super pressed about that. A really good running back could also be good. But we have picks. I'm not taking these draft picks. We're trading for somebody. I'll tell you that. Jason Autry. Down to the Buffalo Bills. As nice it would be to have him back, I'd like him in his prime, and that's not right now. I think this is the one. Britton Terry and a 2 for Tim Norman. 81 overall, superstar dev. I didn't mention it, 23 years old. It's our new wide receiver 1. Okay, we're going to make a move for a safety. 24 years old, Jared Richards. Superstar X Factor, 82 overall. Has to be done. 1 year left on his contract. Don't love that, but good move. Okay, the Seahawks have a superstar X Factor running back behind their superstar. I mean, I got to get one of these guys. A 2, a 3, a 4, and a future 2. 2 years from now gets me the running back. And that leaves us in a position to trade Omari Bibbs. Superstar, 1 year older, but 2 overall points higher. And most importantly, not just a receiving back. Someone that can actually play the position for us. Jason Alexander, we can get Seinfeld's very own. Do we get George Costanza? I know we need potentially another interior defensive lineman. Might be the best we can do. I don't know why the Panthers want to trade this guy. Seems pretty good. And that could be just the outside linebacker I was looking for. So we're going to go back to trading Omari Bibbs, and I think it's going to be a first and Omari Bibbs for that pass rusher. Oh, it's just Omari Bibbs straight up gets us Ian Samuels. Was not ready for that to be accepted, but I am not complaining. CPU can have the draft. Good luck. CPU, I mean, they did some stuff. Good for them. Oh, wow. DeAndre Tolliver is an 84 overall. Very good. I mean, his press is really high. I don't know that he's really that much better than the corner we just drafted, though. Is he? And Devontae Abear, potentially generational tight end. Really high catching. I don't know. Just think he's super high overall. Maybe not generational. I'm still, like, not sure how high some of the position generators go in terms of overall. Like, what's the highest tight end you can draft? Is it an 80 or is it an 85? Receiver could be better on offense, but it's still a good group. I think we're going to live through the tight end. And then the defensive end, or the defensive part of this team, just looks just awesome. We have so many superstar X factors, and I need to see success. I'm obsessed with it. We've switched to a 3-4. The team was destined to be in a 3-4 Pittsburgh playbook. 2037s a year. Hey, there's Bobby Gallery. Haven't seen him in a minute. Our defense was 18th. 3-4 under is not the way to do it. But Pittsburgh playbook is definitely good. And we got some big time upgrades. This was a good season. Enough so that we made the playoffs. However, we don't want to just make the playoffs. We want to win. We want to go all the way. Terrell Easley finally had a down year. He was only 3rd in the NFL in passing yards and 2nd in touchdowns. 38 touchdowns to 3 picks. Rushing. We haven't had the rushing game that we had with Jason Autry. But Tyler Russell, he's going to come into his own. And this is still not a bad year. Receiving. Need better receivers. Tim Norman had a pretty good year. Yeah, I mean, he's still so young. Route running is actually already really good. He's not generational. He's a little bit slow, but definitely a really good player. AJ Leonard's a beast. We could use help at receiver. Just plain and simple. Tackles for loss, 23 for Thompson, 21 for Mitch Springs, who also had a team-leading 15 sacks. My outside linebackers really did not do much, and that needs to change. We made it to the divisional. Panthers are going to be a tough team to beat. Our defense is now the highest rated part of our team. We need our offense to take a step up. And once again, it is the Cardinals in the NFC Championship. I'm nervous about it. But we do actually win. They have a 99 overall. Tommy Broyles, remember him? We thought about drafting him. He went at number 5 overall. I remember that. I thought, oh, that's Bob Sanders. Don't know why. I just think it's a awesome Colts safety, but he's clearly developed really nicely. I said the 2030s would be ours. This would be Super Bowl number 3 in the 2030s. Let's get it done. Bucs, Colts, Tony Dungy Bowl. Well, we're off to a pretty good start here. 14 now. Nope. Okay. Thought it was going to be a little bit more. 17-7. Colts are not done fighting. 4th and goal. Terrell Easley is kneeling on the goal line. Oh, that's such a power play. That is such a strong move. Let's punch it in with Russell. Game over if we convert. We don't. But the Colts have to go 98 yards in 17 seconds. Now, I've allowed touchdowns from this spot before. In fact, regularly. Not going to happen this time. Anthony Richardson's got to be like 40 years old at this point. He's not going to get it done. Richardson's going to get sacked, fumbles into the end zone, and that is a safety to ice it. There is no scenario where the Colts can win it now. What a play by Mitch Springs to win us another Super Bowl. 19-10. Real interesting scoreline there. And not the way you'd expect it. You'd expect maybe a ton of field goals, but no, we got a safety. Terrell Easley did win MVP again, so never mind. He just wins MVP every year. And Super Bowl MVP as well. He might go down as the best quarterback of all time. Forget Tom Brady. It's Terrell Easley's world. Everybody else is just living in it. But we do have to bring back some of our really talented players, especially players we just traded for. And we went all in for a Super Bowl. There's that. There is absolutely no chance we can bring back, even half of these guys. Although Tim Norman is a 5th-year option. He's up to Superstar X Factor, by the way. That's a no-brainer. This is... We can get maybe 3. Gerald Mayo, let's do 7 years to really space this out. He is back. Shaquem Gibson. It's going to be so expensive for a middle linebacker. Oh, I just don't know if we can do this. That might be a franchise tag spot. So we'll offer him something fairly cheap. He's going to decline it. That's okay. Ian Samuels. Oh, that's also a 5th-year option. Oh, okay. We might be able to get this done. It's going to be close. Abdul Pickens wants to be here. And he's still good. Fairly young. We'll give him a 6-year contract. Abdul Pickens is back. $12 million to bring back the safety. And then Roman Lamb's going to have to go. Yeah, we can do this easy. 7-year contract for Jared Richards. He is back. Unless we can get Roman Lamb back for $2.7 million, it's not going to happen. But it did happen. I would have extended the years on that. Okay. This has been managed beautifully. Brandon Peters is going to have to go. But Shaquem Gibson, we are going to hit with a franchise tag. And it's cheaper than we would have had to pay him anyway. So we're going to go negative this year, but I think that's actually fine. We are getting past the big year of the quarterback contract, right? Yeah, it's $66.5 million this year, and then next year it is halved. So we're fine. JJ Holmes, another situation where a guy's a top 5 talent, way down the board. And I think we're going to trade up slightly from 32 to make sure we can get him. Or a right guard retired, so Chad Pierman's going to have to take over. Our offensive line, it's not bad, but it's not amazing. 32 and 64 gets me 24. Kind of a lot for a small trade up, but it's going to secure us a top 5 player in the draft. And I think for that, it is worth it. JJ Holmes from Auburn, welcome to the team. Elite speed, top 5 talent in the class, really good coverage. He might be a real steal. Real steal. That was a movie. I think it was kind of a decent-ish movie. Might watch it again. I don't know. And he's a 78 overall. And oh my goodness, the CPU drafted a 77 overall running back. He's purely a goal line guy. I mean, decent speed. Not really a lateral mover. But, I mean, he does have 90 agility. But in a straight line, he's a beast. It's actually a really, really good draft pick down the board from the CPU. And the center that looked really good is an 83 overall. Yeah, that's pretty solid. This is the most superstar X Factors I have ever seen. This is insane. It's most of our defense by an overwhelming majority. Every linebacker, every starting DB, and then a defensive lineman. Just crazy. Our linebackers have expiring contracts and the tight end as well. Pretty much everybody else is under contract that we'd want to have. So we're still locked in here. We're trading a first in 2039 as well as a third, fourth, and fifth for the Dolphins first round pick, hoping that they're just going to be bad. That's the goal here for 2038 is not even win the Super Bowl. Just let the Dolphins be really bad. Here we go. Oh my goodness. This is the first time I've done this in Madden 24. 17-0. And how sweet it is that this is from a franchise that has gone winless before. The early 80s Bucs were bad. And now, undefeated. 17-0. Only the third team to ever do that in the regular season, at least in the Super Bowl era. 72 Dolphins, 07 Patriots, and now the 2038 Bucs. That's crazy. Terrell Easley, probably going to win another MVP, and it's a perfect season. 40 touchdowns to no picks. I don't know that I've ever seen that in Madden franchise history for me. Tyler Russell had 17 touchdowns, almost 1,300 yards receiving. Tim Norman has arrived. He's up to a 90 overall. Gonna get expensive. 17 touchdowns. Unbelievable. Defensively, yeah, we had quite a few tackles, quite a few sacks. Ed Coakley had 15, 11.5 for Mitch Springs, 7.5 for Samuel, 6 for Gabe Thompson. This is the team of dreams. Shaquem Gibson might have won Defensive Player of the Year with 6 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 5 picks, and over 100 tackles. That has Defensive Player of the Year written all over it. We'll see, though, because somebody, if they just put up 25 sacks, is going to win it. Like, obviously, that's a record. Please don't get eliminated early in the playoffs. If we lose the conference championship, whatever, we could not go 17-0 and lose in the divisional. And I'll tell you what, a loss to the Vikings would also sting. We got to win the Super Bowl with this team. I told you the 2030s would be ours, and now we've gone undefeated. 93 offense, 99 defense, and we've made it to the Super Bowl. It's going to be Bucs Ravens. The Ryan Jensen Bowl. I'm going to do that like every time I remember to. It's tough to remember though, especially at 2:42 in the morning to come up with the players that played for both teams. But you know what? We're doing it. There are more examples, obviously, but Ryan Jensen was the first to come to mind. Let's see if we got any depth trade upgrades. I'd love to see that other receiver go up. That would be nice, but no, he's just still going to be superstar. Team's still sick. In case you didn't think it was, nah, it still is. Which, obviously. 99 defense. Clearly the best team I've ever built. No question. We are a true 99 overall defense. Unreal. 93 offense, 95 overall. How is our offense taking a step back? That's the crazy thing. I think we might have been a 99 offense once before. And Anthony Richardson's back in the Super Bowl? We faced him with the Colts. Now he's jumped to the Ravens. They're back in the Super Bowl. Close Super Bowl so far. Now it's even closer at 10-10, but we take the lead 13-10. Very low scoring, very defensive game. And you have two of the best defenses really in recent history. The early 2000s Ravens and the early 2000s Bucs. But the Bucs here in the late 2030s get the better of the Ravens. Win yet another Super Bowl. Imagine, like, I can't believe it. I've won 5. After 5, you got to be like, all right, it's believable. Season recap, yeah, Terrell easily won MVP again and Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year went to the Cardinals' Aaron Reed. The Cardinals have really been our kryptonite here. That's the only reason why we haven't won more Super Bowls. I feel like the Cardinals have been an issue. But we're doing well. We have just 5 years to go. And we're trying to keep this dynasty together. And hopefully there are some insane players that can help us do that. I don't really think we're going to be drafting a QB. I don't know. I'm really only interested in drafting like sick generational players, although DeAndre Childs looks very good. We got $38 million to bring back very good players. So it's just, there's not that many of them, to be fair. It's really just AJ Leonard. He's been a really good tight end for us. Trayvon Richard and Shaquem Gibson. I think we can actually do this. Just, we can't pay a middle linebacker $20 million a year. I just can't do that. Gabe Thompson's going to be affordable. I appreciate you, Gabe. Wants to be here, franchise QB, wants to win Super Bowls. I like it. AJ Leonard wants to be here. 32 years old, but a 3-year deal I think is reasonable. He is back as well. Now we have $18 million. It's probably enough for one, but not both. Unless we were to do, you know, a tag and trade type of deal. Shaquem Gibson's going to be back, which means Trayvon Richard, we will not even be able to offer. We're going to restructure Gerald Mayo's contract. It adds just a little bit to the end. $750K to the final 5 years. But it's spread out enough that I think we're going to be fine. And that gives us the cap space to at least make an offer on this linebacker. We probably will just end up franchise tagging. But at least now we can make an offer. But at least it's a cheap-ish franchise tag. 16 million, not so bad. And we'll go negative, but again, we're going to compete for another Super Bowl and figure it out next year, which I think is a good strategy. It's worked out so far. So we completed the longest perfect season of all time. Of course, the Dolphins had the first one, but it wasn't nearly as many games as we just won. I'm not even going to count it. That season never even happened. Not exactly how that works. But isn't it crazy that now 2 of the perfect seasons in NFL history have come from Florida? Out of the only 2 that have ever gone all the way. Patriots did not go all the way. But, good try. Ran into a juggernaut, the wild card Giants. What are you going to do? Saints are going to give me a first and a second next year to give away number 20 overall. I am all the way in. And because we're so good, we pretty much guarantee the Saints lose at least 1, if not 2 games a year. So I like where that puts us. Draft recap, we didn't really grab anything too impressive. And the draft was, I mean, well-rounded, deep, but only one really good player. Larry Leonard, 80 overall corner. Ooh, we do not have a right tackle. I could see that being a problem. I'll be the first to admit that could be an issue. The defense, very good. But can we hold on to everybody? Decent question. We actually don't have any X Factor active. How is that possible? Again, I have no idea why that happened. Oh, our defensive coordinator just gets randomly fired, and I can't buy it. Why does that happen? I hired a defensive coordinator that'll actually let us equip some of these. Our offense is really being held down right now by not having a right tackle. That's the biggest issue. I just don't know that we have the money to really go out and get one. Trayvon Richard. Were you the guy I franchise tagged? I think so, right? Yes. Trayvon Richard's going to have to be traded to clear up some space. And we're going to get a right tackle in the process. And Lamb's going to move to middle linebacker. I think that's a good move. Okay. X Factor, 87 overall receivers, 24. We're definitely going to end up making that trade. Although there's a really good defensive tackle. I just don't think that's the move for us. I think it's the X Factor wide receiver. Yeah, that's a really good trade for us. We can't accept this? We got to clear a little bit of cap room then. Well, that's not going to be hard. We'll just add in... Well, the backup quarterback's actually going to have a decent amount of value probably. Let's add in... We just do another receiver. Give him Ralph Phillips. Only 1 year left on these receivers, though. Maybe we'll make a move again, but that trade's going to go through. Let's go. McKenzie is a huge upgrade. Okay, that's going to be a weird trade. We're trading our third receiver, superstar, Troy Parker, and a second to get a 26-year-old 80 overall right tackle, a second, and then a third next year. Now, the receiver had an expiring contract. I think that's overall a fine move for us. I wouldn't say it's amazing. It's definitely not terrible. I kept getting offers for really interesting looking defensive tackles. I have picks, and if we're going to go for it, we might as well. We could get a really good defensive tackle, and that could kind of be like almost the finishing piece. Okay, it's going to be our backup quarterback, who is fairly young and is 77 overall. I think he's only 26. A first-round pick and a second-round pick to get a 90 overall superstar X Factor. Add another one into the fold. Defensive tackle. Yeah, I mean, we are back to being very, very good. I do think we took a minor step back, but I really just think we're back again. With, I mean, arguably an even better team than before. It's close. We upgraded big on the defensive line, downgraded slightly at linebacker, and a lot of these other guys are still developing. Cornerback tandem and even trio is amazing. Safety duo is amazing. Linebackers are incredible. And then the offense, now we have a great receiver duo. Terrell Easley's still cooking. He's 37 years old, but it's not stopping him. He wins MVP every year. 13-4 and playing in the wild card. What are we doing, dude? Why is that the case? Another great year for Terrell Easley. Could be another MVP. Tyler Russell's taking a step up, 4.6 yards per carry. He's now 27 years old, so regression might be hitting. Receivers, just great. Theo McKenzie is going to be more impactful for us probably next season. And then the defense, oh my goodness. 3 players with double-digit sacks. The addition of Corey Hunt is a really nice one. Gerald Mayo is so sick. Really nice trade we made to get him. 99 man, 99 press, 89 tackle. Yeah, it's just a stupid player. Cardinals in the wild card, and they knocked us out. I mean, I hate the Cardinals, dude. They are the bane of my existence. Bryce Young retires. 17-year career. Lorenzo Morel, we're going to lose. Could not tell you who that is, but he's on our team, or was. Season recap, Terrell Easley won MVP again. It's just what he does. A little over 59 mil to re-sign our players. Tim Norman. Oh, Corey Hunt. Yeah, we just traded for him, huh? Ian Samuels is here. Theo McKenzie. Ooh, we are about to lose talent. Yeah, we're going to get so much worse right now. We cannot afford to sign Terrell easily. He wins MVP every year. And we can't afford it. Oh, I don't know what we're going to do here. Norman is too expensive. Man, we really went all out to just lose in the wild card. Samuels is too expensive. Everyone is way too expensive. Theo McKenzie's who we're going to start with. I mean, he's not even interested in signing. We are so screwed right now. We are completely screwed. What are these contracts up to? Nate Pleasant is going to be over 15 million. It's not true. It was close, though. I said a number that I wasn't thinking, which is interesting. Hargrove, I mean, dude. We are just going to lose the entire team. It's going to be brutal. Tim Norman is back. We're down to 13 million. I mean, we're going to lose. We're just going to lose players. The dynasty can only be kept together for so long. We're going to franchise tag Terrell easily. We got to keep our quarterback. And I mean, I said the 2030s were going to be ours, but it is going to be to 2040 now. So almost. So our dynasty is coming to a screeching halt. I'm pretty sure. NFL draft time. We do pick at number 2. Okay. We can make something happen from that spot. This is a very clear trade down spot. We got lucky enough to land the number 2 overall pick from a team we traded with. Now is not the time to draft. It's the time to get an absolute haul or quarterback. Now I'm conflicted. We're going to draft a quarterback. That makes Terrell easily somebody we can get rid of. He's got 99 throw power, and he's built like a baked potato. It's baked potato Mayfield. Well, he's got a cannon, so that's all that matters. And a chunky midsection. But that's okay. We're going to have to trade Terrell easily, which sucks. He's a legend for us, but he's also just not somebody we can keep around, unfortunately. Look at those Bears picks. But yeah, it's unfortunate that it's going to come to this. But Terrell easily is so good. Somebody's going to make good use out of him. Hopefully win a Super Bowl. But the team that we have around him right now, it could be good enough. But does it make more sense to try and get some value out of him? It might. I don't even know if we can do it. You know, we can get Theo McKenzie back. It's what we're going to do. I think we're going to trade. Well, I don't even know if we can do this trade because we don't have the cap room. How do I even work around this? I obviously can't just cut him. That would be so stupid. It's just the penalty is so severe. Oh, we have so many contracts expiring. We might just keep him and try to win a Super Bowl is what the best option actually could be. A 2, a 3, a 4, and a 2 next year gets me a first-round pick next year from the Texans. I hope that they end up being really bad, and that pick will have value again. I think we can win another Super Bowl here before the end of this 20-year rebuild, right? We have 3 years to go. We can do it. Got to build back up. Show me a really high overall QB here. 83. 83 overall. We just got a generational quarterback, probably. 6'6", 228. I mean, he's got the 99 throw power generational trait, so he's going to be. Accuracy's pretty good. I would pretty much, I don't want to guarantee he's going to be a superstar X Factor, but I would say there's a pretty good chance. And he was the highest overall player in the class. I was just going to trade that away, and then I saw it, and I'm like, all right, probably should stick and pick. And, you know, you have accuracy all the way around, and then you have elite throw power. Worth taking a chance. Probably not going to be 99 throw power every time. We know that. But we got lucky enough. And, man, what an addition to our team. Terrell Easley's here. He's killing me, but for one more season, Terrell Easley, he's still so good. I was going to say roll back the clock, right? He's 38, but he's still unreal. He's like Tom Brady. I'm going to try and restructure Gerald Mayo's contract. That should free up a little bit of space here. And then that might actually free us up to trade the beast that is Terrell Easley. Is it the wise thing to do? Yeah, that I don't know, actually. I think, of course, if we trade him now, we are helping secure future success at the expense of a Super Bowl this year, or the chance at a Super Bowl, right? But he definitely would be our best chance to win one this year. That's no question. So once again, we have no right tackle, but the offensive line is good for this season. We need a receiver too really badly. And then defensively, we need a rush linebacker. We need an edge rusher so badly. Okay. Safety's good. Corner's good. In fact, we might even trade one of them to get an edge. Now, the Panthers are offering us Antonio Cleary, a superstar X-Factor receivers, 26, plus 2 first-round picks for Terrell Easley in a first. And I think we're going to make that trade. And we can't afford to do it now. Minus 5 mil. We're so close, dude. We're so close. Cleary's just too expensive. We do a trade like that with somebody else, maybe? We need to clear cap space. I'm obsessed with it, but it's easier said than done. Okay, here's what we can do. We can restructure Shaquem Gibson. We can add money at the end of this, clearing a bit of space now. Here's why I can do that, because we're going to have a rookie quarterback contract. It does not get more expensive than $10.5 million or 10.6. We'll pick up the 5th-year option. We have our quarterback for the rest of the rebuild. Again, sucks to trade Terrell Easley. He's an absolute Bucs and NFL legend. 15-time Pro Bowler, has led the league in passer rating twice. It doesn't even show how many times he's won MVP, but he's basically won it like every year throughout the 2030s. He's been so good. Probably, or no, definitely the best player in NFL history, because he's got Super Bowl victory, or multiple. He's got Super Bowl victory to his name. No, but he's also got more MVPs than anybody has ever won. Legacy leaderboard, I'd be shocked if he were not the #1 position player here, and he is. He's way above Patrick Mahomes. Don't see Tom Brady in here because he's not active anymore, and they don't have every legend to ever play, or any of them. But yeah, he's the best player of all time. He's still active, and guess what? You're gone. And we can also restructure Tim Norman too. Again, it adds money on the end. That's $2 million per year every year on top of those final years remaining. But guess what? It lets us, make a huge trade, get better, and compete with a rookie QB. We're going for it. And we also might get better trade offers now that we can actually afford to take on a contract. So let's see if that's the case. And it already seems to be. We're going to get Alfonso Wilson, I think. Yeah, that's the move. It's going to be Terrell Easley for Alfonso Wilson, a 25-year-old superstar X-Factor, 93 overall receiver. We're also going to pick up a second-round pick in the deal. I wonder if we can do even better than that. But, we're already doing quite well in this trade. Can I get a first? Yeah, we can. Probably could have even got more, to be honest. So now we have 2 really good receivers. We have 3 first-round picks. What can I get back for them? Not enough. Now, what do I need? I need a really good edge rusher. Defensive tackle is going to be a need really, really soon. I do need a right tackle. I can kind of live without an amazing one, and I think we can just trade a mid-round pick to get something that's at least suitable. So let's go ahead and get our offense in. So edge is priority #1. I think we're fine at middle linebacker with Holcomb, to be honest. Just need an edge. A 1 and a 4 gets me, his name, Barry Easley. Gets me, yeah, Barry Easley. So we replace one Easley with another. He's going to play outside linebacker for us. Moves well enough. We could keep him on the defensive line, really. That's an option, actually. Now we're going to move him back to left outside linebacker. But he's going to play in the 3-4. Hopefully dominate for us. And it honestly didn't really cost that much to get him. It was the number 30th or 30 overall projected pick. I do want to trade number 10 though, because that's going to have value right now. Not sure that the Steelers are going to be quite that bad. They could be, but I think it makes sense to try and, you know, get something really good with that right now. Although we don't really have the money for it. So maybe we add a player in. It's a possibility. All right, very interesting trade. We are trading our 4th corner, who happens to be very good and only 23 years old. Trading a 1st-round pick in 2041. We are trading 3/3 and a 4 in 2043 to get a 2043 1st-round pick and a very good right tackle. He is, I think, 29 years old already, but I mean, a clear upgrade. And long-term, we're also getting, you know, a potential really, really good pick. I think the Vikings have struggled of late. Okay, protection for our rookie quarterback. Is he going to be able to live up to the unbelievable Terrell Easley? It is highly unlikely, but you know what? I'm rooting for him. Hopefully he proves us all wrong. I'm not, you know, I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I don't know if he's got to prove anybody wrong, to be honest, but hopefully he just exceeds expectation. 12-5 back in the wild card game. Our favorite thing to do is win 12 or 13 games and then go play in the wild card game. Yeah, love it. Is Christopher Jones our quarterback? I think that he is. He led the NFL in passing yards, had 37 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. That is a heck of a rookie year. He's got superstar dev, and kind of surprised by that. I thought he would have X factor with the 99 throw power, but I guess not. Guess he's proving the Ohio State quarterback thing wrong. Tyler Russell, less than 4 yards per carry. Why? You're a 94 overall. Be better. That's what I got. Receiving. Receivers did a pretty good job. And really funneling the offense through one receiver and the tight end. I guess the 3rd receiver got a lot of action too. And maybe even a 4th. I didn't even see that. Never mind. Forget what I'm saying. It's now 4 in the morning. I'm struggling here. Mitch Springs, 17 sacks. Nice. And then a number of players, all with 3 interceptions. We've made it to the divisional. We beat the Giants. Our team is so good. And the Giants knocked us out of the playoffs. Great timing for that. 2040 season recap has Taylor McLeod winning MVP. Was Terrell Easley just a system quarterback? Question everyone wants to know. Christopher Jones does win Offensive Rookie of the Year. He surely is going to get upgraded to Superstar X Factor, so it doesn't even matter that he only had Superstar. He's going to be an X Factor player after leading the league in passing yards and winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's got to be upgraded. And he is. At just 24 years old, he is already one of the better quarterbacks in the league. 21 players to re-sign. How many are actually going to be important? Delvin Dobbs, yes. Very easily is going to be an option pickup. He doesn't really want to be here. That's potentially a problem. Tyler Russell is a regressing running back who wants a big extension. Yeah, all right. I don't know. Whatever. Everyone wants to be here, though. Everyone just also wants to get paid, which makes it a little bit difficult. Mitch Springs wants a ton of money. He's 33 years old, but he's still going to be good for 2 years. We're down to just 10 mil remaining. And I did not see these players over here. Why did they list them out of order? List it in overall order. We are, yeah, again, not going to be able to bring back everybody that we need to. So, decision time. Ed Coakley is going to be gone. Bradley Swan or Harry Ellis. Probably Bradley Swan, who we just traded for, right? Can't even afford him. We are just going to save money here and hit the reset button a bit on the offensive line. I look at free agency. It's just our team. Ed Coakley, Bradley Swan, Kerry Ellis. If you're curious why we couldn't afford anything, we're dealing with a little thing called cap penalty at the moment. Trading Terrell Easley was, I mean, the right long-term move, but obviously stings right now. Pick at number 16. What do we need? Does it make sense to trade or draft? We have an interior offensive line for now. No tackles. Not really what you want. And then defensively, We have a great team overall still, but need another edge and need an interior guy. So, or a nose, we'll say. Definitely not trading up, so we can trade to our pick and see what gets there. We get number 16, then number 27 in the second round. Not going to take a quarterback, but there appear to be some good ones. We're going to take a chance on Stephen Givens. Edge rusher, 21 years old out of Washington. Elite strength, good speed. He could have a power moves. That's what we're going to gamble on. He's got normal dev. No. Gamble just didn't really pay off. We're going to trade 2 twos, one this year, one next year for Joel Tuck. He's a 77 overall, star dev tackle. And we at least have somebody playing the position. And Stephen Givens is a 74. It's not awful. It's just the normal dev kind of makes me sad. And we took the wrong Steven. This one is an 80 overall receiver. We didn't need to take a receiver, obviously, and he went at number 1. Wasn't going to happen for me. But I think we're definitely going to have a lot more cap space at the end of 2041. That is my expectation. It's just like the huge downside of getting really good players and drafting really good players, trading for really good players, is you have to pay them. And really good players, no matter what you do, are always expensive. There is no way around that. And therein lies the, secret or obvious that teams have to build through the draft, and it's not because free agency isn't viable. You can't get good players that way, but the biggest reason is because it is so expensive. The best way to build is through the draft because you get those guaranteed cheap contracts for 4 years, and that gets the clock started. If you draft somebody really good, you get their 5th-year option if they're a first-round pick. You don't get it if they're not. They're really cheap if they're a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 7th undrafted free agent, right? Those are really, really cheap. So, well, I guess the undrafted free agent part, that isn't the same as 4 locked-in years, but if you are any draft pick for those first 4 or 5 years, you are extremely cheap if you're a good player, no matter what. All right, right tackle is going to be a little bit bad. Offense in general does look very, very good, though. And then defensively, Givens, you got to earn a dev trade here in year 1. Have to do it. 13-4, but luckily not playing in the wild card game. Christopher Jones is going to lead the league in passing again, and touchdowns. Only 2 interceptions, almost 5,000 yards passing. Tyler Russell's still good. Juwan Leonard's is decent enough backup. Tim Norman has 1,300 yards receiving. A.J. Leonard's not too far behind and had 10 touchdowns averaged between the both of them. Defensively, Shaquem Gibson had 95 tackles. Nobody at 100 but Mitch Springs finally broke out in a huge way. He's been a really solid player for a long time. 21 sacks is best in the league. 11 for Gabe Thompson, 8.5 for Barry Easley. Not a bad pickup for us. And then 5 picks for Gerald Mayo. He's really, really good. He gets interceptions about as often as I've ever seen in Madden Simulation. Usually doesn't happen very often, but he's had at least 4 picks 3 times. Pretty good. It's the Cardinals in the divisional, man. Just the one team I don't want to see. The one team that could bring it all crashing down again. We're back on a run. Got a first-round bye. And we have to face the Arizona Cardinals. It sounds crazy based on where they are in 2023, but in 2041, they're a different beast. Jared Richards is really good, by the way. We haven't really talked about him too much, but he's been awesome for us. And we beat the Cardinals. Good start. Can we beat the Falcons, though? They're an 88 overall. They're no slouch. And it's a division game. It's tough. And it was too tough. Falcons win again. Only 28 mil to re-sign players. Why is that number so low? Dimitri Cormier, Joel Tucker, a 5th-year option at least. We'll pick, or Joel Tuck, excuse me, not Tucker. Not really a ton of big players in here. Going really all the way to the end this time around. We are going to lose our awesome longtime tight end, A.J. Leonard. 35 years old, down to an 81 overall. Unless he wants like 5 mil. You know what? All right. A.J. Leonard can stick around for 1 more year. We'll try to replace him. Dimitri Cormier needs to be back. Very, very good player. Very expensive for a safety, but very good. And then Demarius Mobley I've liked as a backup. But I think with these guys, I would just prefer having the money. Steve Atwater. Nice. Former Broncos and Jets legend. Ooh, this defensive tackle looks really good. J.C. Nixon. Currently slated to go number 2 overall to the Saints. I'd like to stop that. Where do we pick? Oh, we don't have anybody's pick. We are low at 30. I mean, we need a defensive tackle. It is worth a trade up, in my opinion. We can deal with Givens here. I probably should have traded Pickens at some point. But I like having 3 good corners, especially when you have 3 receiver sets all the time. We need to be able to take those away. It just doesn't make sense. It costs way too much for number 2. I'd rather just trade number 30 and get somebody that can really help us. We got Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. First round pick is going to get us Bobby Hill. He's a pretty young player, which is what I'm focusing on over the course of a long rebuild. Easy to develop. And cheap. 2 years left on the deal. Superstar dev. Instant starter. Cowboys have another running back named Ezekiel. What are the odds of that? We'll trade a whole bunch of picks for Isaiah Barden from the Broncos. 78 overall. Guard that we're probably going to kick out to tackle. Didn't do anything in the draft because we traded most of our picks. Ooh. 83 overall tackle going at number 1 overall. Really good draft. J.C. Nixon was an 81. This was a really, really good draft. Probably the best one we've seen so far. Just top to bottom. So this is it. 2042. The 20th year of the rebuild. Because, of course, we count 2023, which is year number 1. You count all the way through. It's a 1 fewer year than you'd expect. You think, oh, 2020 or 2040 or 2023, you end at 2043. Well, we end at it, right? Because that would be 21 years if we rebuilt in 2043 as well. So this is the final year here at 4:20 in the morning. We're on fire, and we are trying to finish on a high note. Our quarterback is a 97 overall. The offense and defense are still very good. We just need to finish. We could use a superstar edge rusher to complete our defense, though. And I think that's how we're going to end it. We're going to make a big-time trade. We have 2 first-round picks, plus our former first-round pick in Steven Givens. Give us somebody sweet. Carlos Burton probably going to be it. Got to make sure he's an actual edge rusher first. And he is. Speed rusher. Oh, he's going to be a freak. This is going to be a great addition. So, first-round pick plus Steven Givens. Might not do it. It is close. We can actually probably hold that other first-round pick and just trade maybe a second or a future 3rd and a 4. That actually might get it done. Oh, it's so close, though. And I don't want to just completely clean out all the draft picks. We want to leave this team, set up for future success as well. But that trade obviously makes a ton of sense for us to do. And then we still have a first-round pick in 2043, 2044, and 2045. So I feel good about where we are. I'm probably just going to leave that for the sake of realism. Like, we've been crazy this entire rebuild. I get it. Kind of more fun that way. Just to go, hog wild, try to do whatever you can to build, the best team of all time. It's different, of course, in Falcons franchise. I'm not going to go completely insane in Falcons franchise. Try to be a little bit more realistic. But in these, I think you just kind of go for it. And this is a Super Bowl caliber team here for the final year. It's a really good team. Got some aging talent, but some really, really good players. They're ready to go. I'm ready to see it. I don't know that we're going to go undefeated again. But I think 13-14 wins is very doable. 12-5 certainly did not go undefeated, but it is a first-round bye. So we'll take that. Got some upgrades. Christopher Jones is a true 99 overall already. Yeah, it was the right move to trade Terrell easily. It was sad. It hurt me deeply emotionally, but it was just so obviously the right decision. Christopher Jones again led the league in passing yards. Terrell Easley still is out here, by the way, giving his best effort. Saw his name inside the top 3 with the Steelers. Great year. Yes, there's a new MVP in town, and his name is Christopher Jones. Pretty boring name, but the Giants quarterback is Daniel Jones, which is honestly basically the same thing. 21 touchdowns for Tyler Russell, only 3.8 per carry, but we really threw the ball a lot. Tim Norman with an insane year. AJ Leonard still getting it done. The catching is a problem for him. He's so old. He's so old at this point, but you know what? He's getting it done. Defense was really nice. Wish we had more production, like only 5.5 sacks from Carlos Burton is not my favorite, considering he's a 92 speed rusher with 99 finesse moves. Would have preferred more than 5.5 sacks, but it's okay. Defense performed well. You know, we're making a playoff run. We need to actually win some games, though. Giants here in the divisional. They're an 89 overall. This has upset potentially written on it. Would hate to see it. Not going to jump in here, though. Beat the Giants. Adrian Guy is their number 1 receiver. Imagine some guy just running past you when you're playing corner. Literally. And the superstar X Factor receiver. We could have traded for him several times. He was on the trade block quite a bit. And let's beat the Vikings again. Make it back to a Super Bowl and end on a very high note. Nope. Bills-Vikings Super Bowl. The matchup of teams that simply cannot win Super Bowls. We'll see if that changes in 2023. Hopefully this ages badly. Not a prediction, it's just a historical fact. But that is going to do it for this 20-year rebuild. This is probably one of the longest videos I've ever uploaded. I feel like I was doing a ton of talking. And I usually simulate, 5 years at a time, right in the middle of it. And I didn't do that this time. So this video is going to be pushing 5 hours, I think, minimum. And that edit should be a ton of fun. This is the final team. It's so good. We went undefeated in this one, and we are set up for the future as well. Obviously, have a ton of good players. Contracts are tough, but, I think we're going to be in a great spot, and we have had some of the best players of all time, and this next quarterback could be one to add to that list. We have potentially the greatest quarterback and player ever in Terrell Easley. At running back, it's Josh Jacobs, but Jason Autry's number 4 in legacy score. Receiver, we have Rashee Rice. Wow, I guess the combination with Patrick Mahomes, but Leslie Campbell and Kalen Carroll are 7 and 8. At tight end, Leonard is an overwhelming number 1. And then obviously a number of great defenders as well. But that is going to do it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.